Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again down at Samir Search for Uhuru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, we are rolling to Senegal, which is safer than Dubai. We are rolling. I'm sorry, that was probably wrong. But right now, all of Africa is safer than the Middle East. But, you know, we're rolling to Senegal. May 9th to the 18th. May 9th to the 18th, we're rolling to Senegal. If you're interested in joining us, please visit danfo.africa. Again, please visit danfo.africa. We will love to host you. We're also rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Again, we are rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. That's August 2nd to the 11th. I'm sorry. August 2nd to the 11th. If you're interested in joining us, once again, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. We would love to host one of you guys on one of our excursions. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Hey, Didi. Didi, you keep ducking me on a trip, Didi. Didi been ducking me on a trip for the last 4 years. Well, 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Didi has been ducking me on a trip for the last 3 years, 4 years, something like that. So Didi's coming to Senegal in May. She has no choice. Again, she's coming to Senegal in May. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You've been ducking me. Didi Mende Dimples. Yes, you have. You've been ducking me for the last 3 years, 4 years. Every time it's time to go, you got a new reason why you can't come. Every time. So you've been ducking me. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat room. Jasmine Crockett. And soon is May, Didi. Soon is May. That's soon. May. Guys, visit danfo.africa. We're also rolling to Zanzibar in September. Water Angola, we're going to get into that. Why Jasmine Crockett lost. And the reason why she lost, Joe Biden, and I'm going to play the video. Joe Biden pretty much told Black Democrats what was coming down the pipeline. but we'll get into that here shortly. Yeah, so I put the link in the chat room. Jasmine Crockett lost yesterday. And I said this on another show, and let me give a disclaimer. I am not here. I love my sisters. I love you all. I love you, Dee Dee. Marie, who's, one of my moderators. Love you. Marie actually came on my first ever tour in 2019. But we just got to have an honest conversation today. Okay, when it comes to our sisters and their role in the changing Democratic Party. Joe Biden said himself that Latinos are up next. And let me go ahead and play the video. And he said this in front of Kamala Harris. He said this in front of our so-called black leadership. So if you think, and all the shaming that black people do towards Latinos, oh, ICE is going to come get y'all, F around and F out and find out, all Latinos aren't a monolith. Some of them want ICE to come and take their cousins back. Like all these threats that a lot of you guys give Latinos, as if they're all a monolith, as if they also don't support ICE, as if they all want open borders. That's just not true. Because again, they know what's on the other side of that border. And they don't want that coming up and messing it up for them. But let me play this video. Oops. So this is the call when Sleepy Joe Biden, let me stop calling him Sleepy Joe. Let me be nice. Let me be nice. She don't speak up. Guys, jam it. See, listen, let me, again, I want to be very careful because I love my sisters. Queen Mother 7714. Rolling your eyes and neck and yelling does not mean progress. Again, rolling your eyes and neck and yelling and making jokes does not equate to progress, okay? That's just what it is. That's not a win. Now, if you like to be entertained, then yeah, I guess so. If you like to be entertained, then yeah, that's progress. But what did Jasmine? Let me play this video. Hold on, let's get into the video so we don't get too far off topic.
Executive authority that my progressive friends talk about is way beyond the bounds. And as one of you said, maybe you, Reverend, now, whether it's far left or far right, there is a Constitution. It's our only hope, our only hope. And the way to deal with it is where I have executive authority, I will use it to undo every single damn thing this guy has done by executive authority. But I'm not going to exercise executive authority where it's questioned, where I can come along and say, I'm minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. Women overwhelmingly voted, buddy, of getting things accomplished. And that sounds so self-serving. I know that. But this is going to really be hard. This is going to really, really, really be hard. And let me conclude and turn it over to Kamala, who says, what the hell am I doing with this guy right now? But all kidding aside, I've known you my whole life, most of you. I've worked with you my whole life, most of you. I've been around doing this for a long, long time. I don't always get it right, but I always take responsibility. When I get it wrong, I acknowledge I got it wrong. But my overarching objective, if we cannot make significant progress on racial equity, this country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do. I don't always get it right, but I always take responsibility. When I get it wrong, I acknowledge I got it wrong. But my overarching objective, if we cannot make significant progress on racial equity, this country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
I'm going to stop it right there. What did he say? What did he say? Y'all got to start working with Hispanics because they represent a larger population than you. What we know about last night is the Latino Hispanic vote didn't come out for Jasmine Crockett. And what kills me is black folks really think in their weird mind. I don't understand this sometimes. I just don't get it. That Latinos are and Hispanics I don't know what the difference is, are gonna support a black woman over their own Latinos or white people. Like black people have in their head, and they think they could just shame everyone. They think shaming them and telling them that ICE is gonna come get them, like they really care. They really think black people, for some reason, really think that Latinos need them. Listen to what Joe Biden said. Black folks need Latinos more than Latinos need us when it comes to this Democratic Party voting situation. Black folks were the loudest crying about ICE. But Latino said, nah, we rolling with the white guy over Jasmine Crockett. And I don't know why black people are so delusional. Now look at Al Sharpton right here. Look at Al. Look at Kamala Harris. Like he told you, there's no partnership. They're coming for all of that. And I don't know if I don't get it. Like, help me out. Like, am I missing something? Am I wrong? Because I only hear black people pushing black and brown coalition, Latinx. Like I have a Hispanic friend. I said, you guys call yourself Latinx? They said, huh? No. But black people use phrases like this. They just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just don't get it. But the reason why Jasmine Crockett lost because she did not get the Latino vote. And Joe Biden told you right here, like, listen, y'all gonna have to go talk to them. That's what happened. Black politicians get paid to push policies they don't care as long as they get paid. Thank you for the 6 euros. So Jasmine Crockett is done. Also, and I spoke on this back in 2020. This is where it all started. Okay, and I'm telling you, the Democratic Party, sisters, you had a run from 2020. While Kamala Harris was from Black Lives Matter, from George Floyd to Kamala Harris. Nah, I hear black liberals using this Latinx stuff too. Yeah, it's driven by white liberals, but I hear black people using that and cisgender male. I'm like, oh Lord, man, black people, I just don't know sometimes. Cisgender male, Latinx. Our sisters are the loudest, and all of a sudden, our sisters the most educated. They're the loudest when they don't know what a man and a woman is. I'm just like, come on, what's going on here? The most educated group, but for some reason, they're the loudest. Well, I guess it would be the quietest. When just ask something simple. What is a man? What is a woman? All of a sudden they don't know. I'm just like, oh man, come on. Like I just get so frustrated sometimes. And this be the most educated ones. Defending men being able to use the women's restroom. But the sisters, you had a great run from 2020 to when Joe Biden lost in 2024. Now the Democratic Party, they're moving on. Now they can count on you guys to vote for them. They know y'all ain't going nowhere. They know they can count on you all to vote. You know that 90% that vote blue no matter who. That if you know someone that didn't vote Democrat, don't allow them to come to Thanksgiving dinner. They know y'all got that locked down. They know y'all got that locked down. And that's about it. They're going to use y'all to attack people who don't vote Democrat. That's what they're going to do. But as far as true influence, what happened last night is going to continue to happen. Guys, hit the like button. Again, what happened last night to Jasmine Crockett is going to continue to happen. And then you got guys like Brandon Johnson who care more about the illegal immigrants that he does his own community in Chicago. Eric Adams actually challenged Joe Biden in his in his immigration policy. Y'all, black folks turned on him. That's where we're at now. But again, what happened in Texas last night at Jasmine Crockett is going to continue to happen. And just the idea, the delusion that you thought that Latinos were going to choose a black woman, side with a black woman over a white man. I don't know what y'all be smoking, what y'all be drinking, but you're delusional. But links in the chat room if you want to call in. Jasmine Crockett alienated some Latinos in Texas with her remarks. What about got to pick the strawberries? About we need somebody. Hold on, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me find it. Hold on, where is it? I know what you're talking about. When she's talking about who's gonna pick the strawberries. Here we go. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
We done picking.
Here we go. She's so unbearable, man. Goodness. Here we go, guys.
We done picking cotton.
Here's Lady Eyelash's Jasmine Crockett explaining how she has to educate people on what immigrants do.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
We literally have black farmers. My dad's side, I come from a family of black farmers. I don't. And see, what really disappoints me is the way the black community gas her up. Yeah, tell them, girl. Tell them, girl. Tell them. Yeah, she a real one. She a real one. Tell them, girl. Here we go. I love Jasmine Crockett because she speaks up. Not standing down, America will never accept us Africans allowing us to lead Americans. They can have America. I'm preparing to leave anyway. See, we just gassed this girl up. Get her. She a real one.
Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton.
I mean, come on.
We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
I just, guys, can we bring back Cynthia McKinney? Can we bring back Cynthia McKinney? Yeah, can we bring back Cynthia McKinney? Go find Cynthia McKinney. I mean, if sisters want to win and they want influence in the Democratic Party, why didn't y'all get behind somebody like Cynthia McKinney? Y'all ran Cynthia McKinney off, but the Democratic Party did, but nobody supported Cynthia McKinney. No, Cynthia McKinney's still alive. Y'all get Cynthia McKinney, man. Golly. She lived right here in Atlanta. Bring back Cynthia McKinney. She left the U.S. No, she's here in Atlanta. Nah, Cynthia was a real one. I like Cynthia McKinney. I like Cynthia McKinney. Apologies, I conflate Crockett's remarks. She also said Latinos who voted for Trump have a slave mentality, and that's my point. That's what I was bringing up earlier when I first came on. Black people, especially black people who vote Democrat, for some reason want to put Latinos in the same and look at them as a monolith. A lot of Latinos support ICE because they don't want their badass cousins coming up here ruining things for them. That's the problem. All Latinos don't vote Democrat. So now, because a Latino doesn't vote Democrat, they have a slave mentality. That's the problem. Go ahead, Simple.
First things first, man, I appreciate your platform. You know what I'm saying? Checking out your Danfo.Africa, man. Hopefully people go over there and check that out after they get through watching this stream and everything, see what you got going, my brother. But, you know, Don, we got to have a real serious conversation. I'm glad I jumped up here, pause, before everybody else did, because we get lost in the rhetoric sometimes, you know, and everybody think I'm on the doom and gloom train. It's not that not that I'm doom and gloom. I just see the way how black people approach politics, then Asian people approach politics, the Latinos approach politics. Everybody else approach their politics with a goal. They have 3 steps, 3 solutions, 3 gripes or whatever. The only thing you have to do in the black community is give them somebody to hate. That's all you have to do. You have to give black people somebody to hate, and you give somebody to cheer for. That's it. And you throw out a little symbolism, and I put the symbolism in the same category as give them somebody to like. When Sloppy Joe sniffing girls' hair was sitting up there, when they demanded him, the only thing that black people demanded from him was have a black woman as a vice president, which she ain't black, and a black Supreme Court pick. That's it. Black people don't want nothing else. They don't demand nothing else because our politics is based off of feeling and identity politics. Why do you think Roland Martin be trying so hard to get them to pay him? And they never give him any money because they say, we don't have to give you no money, Roland Martin, to talk to black people. We don't have to talk to black people. All we have to do is say, hey, these people over here don't like you. They racist.
Please, if I can add, remember that Biden also said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Oh no, he was just joking about that. He was just joking. He was just being Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? He always stumble and mumble his words. He was just joking with black people because that's how he is. He cool with the Negroes. You get what I'm saying? So he got the Negro card that he can say that he was Obama homeboy. You get what I'm saying? And I'm sure when he get in office, Obama gonna be there to help him out. When Joe Biden got back in office, he didn't even have no conversation with Obeezy because he didn't really like Obeezy. Obeezy wanted Hillary to run over him when she lost against Trump. At the end of the day, the only people like that sister girl weave slanging.
Simp, if I can ask a question, because, you know, I graduated from the University of Georgia back in 2005. When did this educated Sophista Ratchet become popular? I don't get it. Like, I don't remember sisters being super ratchet when I was in college with a degree. Like, the Ratchets was the Ratchets, off of Bankhead,
Yeah.
Bowen Homes.
There was
Now
a separation.
it was a separation, but now it's like you got to be educated and ratchet. I don't get it.
It started.
Because
Go ahead.
I don't, and I'm not being. I would love for the sisters to call in, and when the
I would
sisters
love
call in, I will put a leash on Sim Police Academy because
I will mute myself.
because I don't see the men doing it. Like, I don't see the men who graduated from a university just decide they just got to talk ratchet and be loud, and I just see it from the sisters. I don't get it.
Honey child, girl, please. What they saying? Who gonna do that? No, like only. Let me tell you something, Dinus. It changed when you couldn't tell the difference. This started about 3 years ago when you stopped being able to tell the difference between a prostitute and a girl that's going into any club or going to the U-Bar. When women started dressing as the same way as prostitutes, the same uniform as prostitutes, when you had women walking out here with fishnet, stocking, romper jumpsuits on with nothing but they nipples covered in band-aids, when they start dressing the same way the strippers that's walking around in Magic City, when the same way that they start wearing yellow, burgundy, purple, pink, 36-inch Peruvian wavy, double D bust down yaki. The thing of it is that one thing about women, Dinus, women compete against each other. Women always want to be seen as kids. Women never grow up. Don't get me wrong, guys are childish, but older guys don't compete against younger guys. We don't see it. We see the young guys moving. We like, hey, bro, he over there doing this thing. Just hopefully I catch me a straggler. You get what I'm saying? Hopefully he don't snatch them all. But if he do snatch them all, we be like, hey, you know what? It's the young man's game. But you still have women in their 30s and 40s, 50s, still talking about, hey, we just as good as an 18-year-old. We better than a 21-year-old. Or we just as fine. We the 50 is the new 20. Who says that? Who talks like that? It's black women. But see, the thing about it, that one thing that white women understand, white women understand that their beauty and the way that they are emotionally.
Hey, Simple, I got a sister coming on. Just I'm
gonna let her cook. I'm gonna let her cook her collard greens.
Go, Rainy Fox Media. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Unmute yourself.
Hey, I like both of you, as you know.
Okay.
And I used to get on the platform. I think you remember that, Dinah, some years ago.
I like you too, Rainy.
I know. You be cracking me up. Dinah, you remember me getting on about 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, okay. And so I still just mainly listen, and that's why I'm not going to stay on long. I just wanted to say, because for some reason, when I saw you just a few minutes ago, I agreed when you stated that what this rolling the eyes and have to do with progress. Here's my thing with Jasmine. And now I just saw reports this morning on the news in Texas that some of the people were told to go to certain polling centers in order to vote. But I digress. I'm sure that did take place. However, Jasmine to me has always come across as what my mother used to say they would call Black women, and that is called a sapphire. Now, that's an old term used by Black people. And so I asked my mom why. And it's like it's our modern day sassy Black woman stereotype stuff. And so I think that your question was on point, or your comment was on point. What does her rolling of the eyes have to do with our progress? The only issue I've had with her in being in Washington, D.C. It's just that. After a while, that runs old. Okay. She is smart. She's also a lawyer by trade. So she's obviously educated. She's articulate, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not surprised she lost because they also got rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene. So they're looking at two sassy women at opposite ends of the political spectrum, and they happen to get rid of both of them. Make this make sense? And now we're under the Trump regime, which, you know, has already shown us who their administration is as it relates, and particularly to Black folks. So I digress. I just wanted to add that in because I feel like that's the reason why she primarily lost. You know, outside of Black folks that weren't able to vote, or I don't know, you know, had complications getting to the next poll they were supposed to go to. I don't know all of that, but I do know when they have a use for you and you're playing those stereotypical roles that we've all seen on TV, eventually those roles grow old. And I just think that her role has grown old. And that's that. She's either going to be reserved, the next Black congresswoman or Black woman senator, which is hard to be Black in America and become a senator on the national basis. It's just going to have to be able to speak up at the time they need to speak up, but stand back and sit down when it's not. And what we're not seeing, and I used to be a part of the Black Caucus in DC, okay, from a business standpoint. And what we're not seeing is the Black Caucus has not been speaking up for us for years, since Conyers out of Michigan, since Ron Brown, who mysteriously fell from a plane.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean that when I say that. I mean that when I say that, because I was a part of considering the trip as a business person that Ron Brown was taking, because they were gathering a lot of DC business people at that time that were Black to do trade. But I digress. So it just, that's how long her sapphire role would take her. That's my answer to that. And so hopefully we'll have more Black Congress people. We have a few now in caucus, but in a few more Black senators that will be, not that Jesse Jackson is not controversial, but will be that kind of Jesse Jackson, Conyers type of person. It's not about being old school. It's just about speaking up, because a lot of stuff, as an example, what's going on in the AES, Conyers would have spoken up about it. If United States has said they're going over to Nigeria for whatever the reason, Conyers and them would have said something. Rango too, out of New York. So I'm not that political, but I just wanted to say I agree, because I said that and somehow it wouldn't come up through the thing, because I think that, Dinus, you were commenting to some female, but I'm going to step back now. I like the conversation. I think it needs to be had, but I just wanted to add that 2 cents into there. We cannot afford, as Black professionals in the political arena, to play the sapphire role and think that they eventually are not going to sit us down. That does not mean we can't be a Jesse Jackson and speak up, whether you agree with Jesse Jackson's politics or not. One thing you have to say about him is that he always took historical actions, meaning that whatever he did, whether you agree with it or not, standing by Farrakhan is one example. Going over and saving the hostages from Iran is another example. And the list goes on and on. Whether you agree with him, his politics or not, he always took a stand. And sometimes inaction is better than inaction. But that's where I think Jasmine, and I got family in the West. I got family from that West corridor. So I haven't heard their take on it yet. But I think she just lost because they didn't want any more sapphires. They didn't want any more Marjorie Taylor Greenes, and everybody in the administration, including the Democrats, seem to be falling in line, because the Democrats are not coming out swinging. Jeffries is doing what Jeffries been doing, especially when he attended the Charlie Kirk thing. And now all of a sudden you see the inner conversations about Jeffries now amongst the Democrat political voices on social media, as if stepping up to Charlie Kirk and doing what he did with that was not enough. I mean, he's had a very long career of doing things that were opposite of what he supposedly represents. So again, they're over the sapphires for now. Everybody is in line, in my opinion, with the Trump administration. The Black Caucus, though, it's important that they did come out with an announcement about 2 weeks ago saying that they're ready to take action. And I'm thinking to myself, this man, and I'm going to tell you something, this man done rolled back DEI, but the first thing he did when he got in office, and thank God I don't own a business in DC where I'm no longer doing business with the federal government. Let me say it that way without letting you know who I am or my background, my experience, because what he did last year was intended to impact the Black business apparatus, especially in DC, because you're talking about people that are used to making $500,000, $1 million, 10, and I've known some of them personally that have done so a year.
Hey, Raina, do you think it was done to go against Black people or Black women?
No. See, and this is why we don't want to get misled. And this ties into Jasmine because she sure didn't speak up either.
I want you to speak on it. This is why.
Okay,
this is why you're the perfect person to have up here.
No, when he went, let me say something. Because I think that when Governor Moore of Maryland confirmed that Maryland lost the most federal government employees, that means that Dodge was in there making sure them Negroes get up out of the feds in the DC area. That's number one. None of the Black Caucus spoke up in terms of taking legal action. And I used to do federal government contracting. That's why I take it personally. And I know people that possibly still making their $1 million or $2 million doing federal government contracting. He did that within the first month, possibly even the first week. No, what you don't know is this: outside of all the states you're in, Atlanta, wherever you're at, okay, in DC, the Black businesses that are federal government contractors, they have $1 million companies, some of which are in the 8A program, some are not. They have other locations that may be, let's say, in North Carolina or Atlanta or Detroit or whatever. But in the DC area, for the most part, he hit the Black community. And what I was going to say with this, just like if you take Real Housewives of Potomac, which I'm sure you guys don't watch, but I do. No shame in my game. ROP, Real Housewives of Potomac, which is outside of the DC area, as an example. One of the grand dams, her husband is an engineer, Black, who is a federal government contractor. So my point is, no, you on the surface, the DEI looked like it hurt, boom, boom, boom. But on reality, especially on the ground in the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, it hurt Black businesses, especially those that are founded by Black engineers, Black computer scientists. There was plenty there. And a lot of them are also in the 8A program. And then what Trump has just done is, after he does his DEI unraveling last year and attacks the contracts that go along with it, as he included it in it, what they just did is roll back. Now I've lost my train of thought, but they just rolled back they just rolled back 8A program. The 8A company, let me finish. The 8A
No, we're agreeing with you.
No, hold on. But the 8A companies that are Black, male, men owned, that got millions of dollars, because the 8A program, first and foremost, is means that you start bidding on contracts that are like 5 million and up each contract. If you got 5 of them, your company's already worth 20 million. Where are those companies primarily located, in my humble opinion? Because I'm being humble here, because when the last time I was on here, I liked St. James, but it seemed like, without saying it, he talked about YouTubers. The next time he does that and I get on the panel, I want to jump back on to address it, because I have to be addressed according to what I know and according to what I read, not according to somebody's definition of me, but because I like him. And when I've listened over the years, I've been listening, and I do not get on the panel. But let me go back to that. But next time, if it happens, I want to jump back on if he does that. And if he's listening now, Please go
Stay
right
focused,
ahead and
sis.
point us.
Stay focused, sis. Stay focused.
Okay, let me go back to that. He just, and I already went to one of the gurus of 8A who she's still trying to sell this service. And she knows I'm not going to call her name because she has a YouTube channel. He just went and did a re-review of the 8A. That's huge, especially the Black people that got multi-million-dollar companies doing federal government contracting business. Is there now the Indian apparatus of it, those that are foreigners, they are on their possible way out, in my opinion, based on what I've read about the changes they're making in 8A over some felonious situation that occurred that looked to me to be staged. And it's on YouTube where this reporter guy supposedly undercover interviews an 8A company that basically one of the lower level employees who happens to be a Black woman, and this was not a Black owned 8A business, admitted to them being a shell company. With that stated, they just last month decided to review 8As. And that is very important to the DC metro area. You got multi-million dollar Black people that own businesses in the DMV that I know some of them personally. So I'm not going to deal with people coming on here talking, I'm from DC. I don't do I'm from DC stuff. That's not important.
But let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question, though.
Wait a minute. He just hit that last month. And the Black guru that sells people on 8A and GSA and getting and winning contracts, who's Black on YouTube, was trying to sell it. But if you know anything about the federal government, she's made her money off of that, and she's well known. She can't barely navigate it herself now that its administration is shutting it down. So anyways, go ahead and say what you're going to say. I'm going to get off in a minute.
Don't go anywhere.
I got to read these super chats. Let's see here.
Don't make a statement then, Ron. Stay in talk.
No, I can't stay long, but I do want you to ask me the question, though. I do.
Okay, let me read these super chats.
Okay.
Raphael, thank you for the €2. Roland Martin got a bag off of Kamala, $300K. That is true. That is correct. Philly Yardy Vibes, 808. Thank you for $10 holla. Black faces in high places without a Black agenda. No thanks. Thank you for the $5 holla. We are not Black. Black is a term that means.
Oh my God. So disease mean the D is in D. It means the ease, and the ease is a blue, and the green is a. Come on, man. We need to stop that. Let me
read it. It's a term that means a non-living entity. White means a living entity. I appreciate y'all. See, brother said,
yes,
why gotta be devil's food cake? It's a Black cake. It's not a white cake. 80s food cake, brother. See, why the Black keys gotta be the one on the piano?
Right. But you see with the Oreos, my brother, they put the black part, the crispy part on top, and that's why they call us crispy. But you see the white filling is what they talk about, even though the black crispy part is above the white part, the cream part. But the cream part is clean and pure and sweet, and the black part is rusty and crusty on the Oreo, my brother.
See, brother, why gotta be Black Friday, my brother? Why gotta be Black Friday, my brother? See, what it does, brother, it conditions. It's the conditioning, it's the conditioning, my brother. See, they put the C in the O in the end means con. See, brother, see, the con is the conditioning. See, the con, the C-O-N, my brother, that means con. See, they trying to con your condition, brother. They trying to con your addition. So
but
it's con, C-O-N, addition is really addition, my brother. So they trying to con your addition, my brother.
But you got to understand, my brother.
They don't want us to do the math, my brother. They don't want us to do the math.
The math is always the math. See, brother, the son, that's why I call you son, my brother, not S-O-N as an S-U-N, because you shine bright.
I'm getting ready to
ask you a question. Hold on, before you go,
Rainy. I'm getting ready to go. Thank you.
Let me ask you a question. So if that's the case, I heard everything you said, then why did black women come out and make this whole big thing, especially with the Democrat Party, put black women up there to make it think that it was all about black women that was getting fired?
No. And then again, in DC, the engineering companies, they're namely black men who are engineers or IT professionals that have and I'm not saying all 8A, I'm talking about when the industry is in IT and engineering, and if they are black, they're usually not a black woman, they're a black man. That's all I'm saying. So a company that's called ABC Company, Fultron is a black, I'll give you an example. Fultron been graduated. It was black owned. The owner of Fultron, I believe, is an engineer and IT professional. It's long overdue. They're probably gone or merged or did something else. But my point is, if they're in technology or engineering in the DC area, they're usually black men. However, 8A is across the board, so they could be social worker and service, whatever, and be in the 8A program. So that's neither here nor there. Either way, the Democrats failed us. The Black Caucus failed us. That would include, going back to the center of this, Jasmine. She did not speak up. That's like she didn't really speak up when the President Trump asked the Liberia president, where did he learn such good English? Make goddamn sense. Really?
All right, let me pass the mic to
okay, I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me pass the mic to Darnell. Go ahead, Darnell.
Yes. First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. The thing is here that I kind of see, I guess, to me, from what I'm seeing so far from the news, is that Jasmine Crockett is like coming off as kind of a sore loser, in a way. Things didn't go her way. She's bitter about it. I mean, I admit I've never been a real Jasmine Crockett fan. I did support her against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her run-ins, and every now and then she'd have something to say that would say, okay, the Democrats got some backbone. But at the same time, in my opinion, I think she just comes off as just too liberal for me, especially in a state like Texas. And I'm from Texas. I was born in Texas, and I understand the politics there. They don't like liberal politics down there. And, I think this was just a case of, voters, granted, this is a primary election, saying, hey, we don't think you have a shot to win. We have a shot at gaining some ground in Texas, which is highly unusual. Keep in mind, Texas has not had a Democratic governor since Ann Richards. And for those of you that don't know who Ann Richards was, she was the last time she was governor. I think she left office in 1995. I think she left office. So she was the last Democratic governor. As far as the state races, Democrats, to my knowledge, has never had any of the. They never had the House or the Senate in the state races. It's basically been a Republican stronghold practically since I've been on this planet. And I honestly think this is just a case of Jasmine Crockett. I think she would have done a better service, supporting, the man that defeated her. I mean, I'll be honest with you. From what I can see, the race doesn't even look close at this point. It's not even a, this is no 2000 event where, hey, it's just a few hundred votes or a few thousand votes. This is, hey, she lost big time. And maybe, right now, I think that the Democratic Party needs to show a little more unity against who their ultimate nemesis is at this point. It's the MAGA Republicans. It's Donald Trump. It's the MAGA Republicans. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I just don't think that she can carry the torch. I mean, people are. I think the American people are starting to get tired of these partisan politics. You know, even with MAGA, look how MAGA is starting to turn on Trump. I mean, they are turning on him. You know, some of the Republican Party. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was a diehard Trump supporter. I mean, rocked with him from day one. You know, she's gone. I mean, she's speaking out against him, and I think I think people are getting tired of the partisanship. They want America first, and I think that's true both on liberal and conservative circles.
Darnell, do you think it could ever be American first like that? The slogan doesn't even make sense. America could never be American first because America has interests all over the world. It's impossible. So the slogan is an oxymoron. It's just a good slogan. But like at the end of the day, we got to be smart.
My brother, let him answer so I can pass the mic to other people.
Go ahead, Darnell.
Well, you might be right. It might be an oxymoron, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to admit that there is anger amongst the American people. I mean, you just go to the damn grocery store, you know, and realize what you got to pay for food right now. And this has happened both under a Democrat and a Republican president, who have both lied, talking about I'm bringing prices down and it's not that bad and all this other stuff. I think the American people are getting sick of the bullshit. You know, pardon the expression.
What the American people gonna do about it, Darnell?
Well, that remains to be seen. But I can say this is that I mean, you can take a look at the 60s. You know, when the American people, that was the last time I can remember the American people in mass, you know, getting angry about something.
All right, let me pass the mic to Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
All right, thank you, Donis, and good afternoon to the panel in the chat. Look, I mean, let's not, you know, I'll be remiss if I don't give Jasmine Crockett a lot of credit. I mean, she got almost 1 million votes. That's an achievement within itself. And James Tellerico, you know, the guy who won the primary, he was just a better candidate, you know, partly based on his ethnicity. You know, Mexico, not Mexico, but Texas has a lot of Mexicans, you know, people of Mexican origin, Latino origins. So he just had a better, you know, candidacy based on his race, so to speak. But Jasmine Crockett hasn't, you know, having come on the scene a couple of years ago, you know, she had a decent showing. I think had she been in any other state outside of Texas, she probably would have, you know, won that primary. But I think this is where the politics is going. That's why I think Biden and those who are in the Democratic Party know where the wind is blowing. And it's that the correlation of Latinos in the United States, especially within the Democratic Party, they are forced to be reckoned with. You know, the largest minority bloc within the Democratic used to be the black vote, but now it seems like it's shifting to the Latinos. And I think they're starting to show out where it matters. Places like Texas, probably California, you know, maybe down in Florida if it ever comes to that. So they're showing their strength in numbers by supporting somebody who is actually a bit more moderate than Jasmine Crockett in terms of his policy. And this is a guy who was a state.
May I interrupt you just one brief second?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, you know, hands down. Like a lot of people, you know, you look at the demographics of the country, and you know, Latinos are now outplacing, have displaced blacks as the number 2 demographic in the country, when it comes to race. So, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I really like what you said about, he just kind of seems to be the more moderate candidate. And Jasmine Crockett, she, don't get me wrong. She had her moments, but, she just seems to be way too liberal. And I think that the American people are tired of hearing that.
Okay. Right. And then I was going to move on to his political, base, which is based in Texas, in Austin, where he served as a state representative there. So he has a good base in the capital, the political capital of Texas, which is Austin. So I think nationally, not nationally, but statewide, when that race goes to a head to head with perhaps he and Ken Paxton, he might just pull it off. It's going to be a very difficult thing to do, but he might pull it off because I think the country, like many people are saying, they're angry with Trump. Even the mega base is angry with him, especially when it comes to Epstein and a few other things that they're feeling the pinch on. But even in Texas, some statewide elections has been won by Democrat. In deep red states, in Louisiana, in Kentucky, in some other places down south, Democrats has been winning statewide elections. So it's just a tide of things, when the country is unhappy with the current president, even people who would normally vote for their political, party, they tend to switch, and maybe after after a cycle, they'll probably come back to the Republican Party. But this is a good time for Democrats right now, and I think Crockett probably overperformed based on the sentiments of many, independent and some mega, Republicans who probably, voted for Trump the last election and probably wanted to give her a chance this time around. But for me, I don't think this is a referendum on black women supported within the Democratic Party. I think it's more of a local, politics, and I think Tellerico being of Hispanic descent probably just edges out, Jasmine Crockett based on the Hispanic sentiment.
He's not Hispanic. He's Italian. He's white. Well,
He's not Hispanic. That's what I said. Elder just be rambling sometimes, bro. He just be talking. Have no idea what he's talking about.
Okay. Right. So I think he did get a lot of Hispanic vote, and I think they probably tend to, align with him more so than Crockett based on her politics.
But do you know why he got more Hispanic vote?
Well, I know he was one sec. I know he was a school teacher before he got into politics. That's one thing I know about him. I don't know if you want to tell me why he got more Hispanic.
You can't be that green. You can't be that green. The Hispanics don't like black people. That's y'all in the Liberal Party trying to talk about some black and brown coalition. Most people know that Hispanics don't like us. We know that. They outnumber us. 80, they outnumber, it's 45 million of us, and it's 70 million of them, and 11 million in hiding. They don't like black people. But y'all keep talking that liberal, that Democrat Party keep trying to push that black and brown coalition. That's just based on numbers. And I'm glad Wall Street Willie is up here today. We all know that strength is in numbers. Matter of fact, Malcolm X talked about that all the time. Black people, we talk about strength is in number. So if they outnumber us, why the fuck would they want to be included with us? They ain't got to be included. They ain't got to be inclusive with us.
Hey, Sim, let him respond. Hold on, Darnell. Let him respond. I got past it to Africa.
Yeah, because politics is based on correlation. You build correlation on different groups that have similar interests. So even though, quote unquote, the Hispanic may not like us, but if our interests align, we tend to vote within in the same direction. So yeah, that's what Biden was saying, and many people got on him because just purely based on the numbers, Hispanic are a force to be reckoned with. And a lot of Hispanic is within the Democratic Party. So if we have a similar interest and a similar goal, we have to work with the Hispanic, to get the outcome that we want. But I'll pass the mic.
Why did they not vote with Kamala then?
Yeah, let me pass the mic. Africa, go ahead. Africa, mute yourself. All right, go ahead, Bobo.
I thought he said he was driving, Diners.
Let me.
Okay. Go ahead,
Did
Bobo.
he say something? Okay. Yeah. Always say this, right? Black people have trained their replacement. That's what we did. It's what I want to say. It's pretty much over. I've been saying this for a minute. You know, the Democratic Party is in shambles. Everybody's leaving in disgrace. Jasmine Crockett has been getting national attention, and she still can't win. Cause like the one guy said, they don't like black people. Period. That's it. She's been getting national attention, standing up for them, and she still can't get their vote. She still can't win. So it's time for all the smart black folks. I know where Elvis at with it. Elvis want to be unified with everybody. All the smart black folks. It's time for y'all to follow our lead on delineation. We need lineage-based policies just to protect ourselves. Because like y'all said, which I don't believe that Latinos are the second biggest group. I think that we're still the biggest group. But the reason why I say that, because all Latinos are not the same. All so-called Latinos are not the same. We are actually all the same, the Black Americans. But it's not just the Latinos no more. They got all the rest of the immigrant groups that want to go against us. So that's why it's time for us to start making moves to protect ourselves. That's all I wanted to say. I appreciate you letting me speak, Donis.
All right, go ahead, Willie. Let me pass it to Willie.
All right, Donis, can you hear me?
Yeah, Willie. Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be quick in and out. Like, I've been listening, and the brother made, so chill out. Chill out, Sip. Hey, yo. The brother made some good points about the whole Mexican thing and all of that, right? But there was something very key that's been left out, right? And I'm wondering, does anybody know anything about the redistricting that was done in Texas, specifically targeting her? Or is everyone just talking out their uninformed asses? That was my question. How bargain?
It wasn't just targeting her. It was targeting plenty of seats. See, that's what I'm saying. That's when, did you hear when Rainey was up here earlier? That's that liberal talking point that y'all make it seem like they redistrict their whole state of Texas for liberty old ratchet ass wig weed wearing, wild hyena hood rat uppity twerk monkey Jasmine Crockett. They didn't do it just for her. They did it.
I think
they took away.
She was the primary reason for it. She was definitely the primary.
She was not. No, that's just how.
So I'm saying, how did that get left out of the conversation?
But I'm just saying,
everything.
I agree
we talked
with you.
about her weave. We talked about her lashes.
Willie, it's left out of the conversation because she was running for Senate.
You said what?
It's left out the conversation because it has nothing to do with her running for Senate.
It absolutely does. It's a redistricting of her area.
Oh
my God.
Can I educate you guys? It's a statewide seat. Everybody can vote, regardless of the district that they live in.
All right.
Willie, you're wrong, bro.
You're wrong, Willie. And even hold on, stop the show. Even Elvis agrees with us.
Well,
do you
because of the matter of fact, it's not that I agree with you.
About the redistricting, you know that doesn't affect the Senate, right? That only affects the House. It doesn't affect the Senate at all. You know that, right?
What position did she have prior to running for Senate?
She's a state rep. She's a representative from Texas.
Yeah, and you know why she didn't run as the incumbent for that position, right? Because the fix was in. Yeah, the reason why she didn't run for the same office and why she was forced to jump out the window and run for a position that it wasn't likely she was going to get is because the fix was in, right? The redistricting. She had her district on lock, right? It was no way she was going to lose. Guaranteed win. They redistrict and now, hold on, though. You got to realize, right? The Donna was threatening jailing, right, politicians over this same issue. So I'm just saying it's not as simple as you guys are making it, right? She was forced to run for another position. Who forced her?
But that's her biggest complaint right now is that some of her voters, especially in that Dallas area where she has a strong black, voting base, is that they weren't allowed to vote after 7 p.m. And I think that case went to the Supreme Court in Texas.
It's called the sundown town.
Yeah. No, Texas is
hold
a
on, y'all.
metropolitan area. It's not a
This
sundown
where
state.
it get all. This is where it
Dallas,
get
I mean.
all mixed up at. What does the law say in Texas? When does it voting stops? What does the law say? Now,
That's
Elvis,
what
you
the
always sit up here and talk about the law. So
hold
what
on
does
now.
the law say?
Let me just tell you there was
Uh-huh.
I think it was a federal judge who gave an exemption that it could be open for 2 hours later, up to 9 p.m.
A
And then the
federal
Supreme.
judge cannot give a exemption unless something happened, just like they did in Georgia with the bomb threats.
Hold
So
on now.
that's what. Hold on. Let me help you out on it. So you have these liberal judges that just come out and say something. It still have to be answered to. Just because he come out there and say something, a federal judge does not dictate the law of the land. They can come in there and make it, and they bring it back up. Why you think the Supreme Court
they
came in there?
absolutely do.
I
just
hear
want to
you,
finish.
right, Sim Police?
I
hear
just
you.
want to finish the last 2 seconds of
Okay.
it. That's why the Supreme Court, you know what I'm saying, came in there and shot it down. All of them, not just one, all of them. Because
but
a
the
federal
case is
judge,
still being litigated right now, so we got to wait for the outcome of
but
the
then
case.
that's fine. But that's why they told them to say they didn't get rid of the votes. This is why we talking about y'all don't know
No, that's not
politics
what I
much.
said. You're conflicting what I
ain't
said.
say Elvis. I'm not talking. Everything ain't about you, sir. This is what I'm talking about. What Willie was saying. They did not take away those votes. They got all them votes to the side. All of them to the side. So if it's by law that what the federal judge did is good, they're gonna bring all them votes in. But even with all them votes coming in, she's still not gonna win. That's the funny part. Because unlike what y'all saying, y'all didn't even get the numbers of the votes that was counted after 7. See, they already counted those votes and they just didn't make them count. But when you add up all them votes after 7, she still lost. And I passed the mic.
Well, but even so, I mean, you talk about that. This was all some kind of cockamamie conspiracy theory to for her to lose. Texas.
Right.
I'm from Texas, and I'm telling you, they've been doing this shit long before Jasmine Crockett, since the 90s. I mean, Jasmine Crockett was born in 1981. You know. They've been doing this since they've been doing this shit since she was a teenage girl. Had no idea who Jasmine Crockett was, or who she was even going to be, So this,
and so as a Texas citizen,
this is nothing.
As someone from Texas, I'm curious. Why do you think they continually do these type of maneuvers? Right.
Well, it's simple.
Out of curiosity.
It's simple. It's to keep power. I mean, Texas is the second most powerful state in the union.
Keep power for who? Americans?
No, the Republican Party.
All right, then. I just wanted to get you to say it. That's all.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's just the.
Darnell,
let's
sometimes
just
you
be
gotta
honest.
talk slow for Willie, Darnell. You gotta talk slow for him sometimes, bro. He don't get it.
Nah, Willie just wanted him to say the quiet part out loud.
Hey, yo, bro, chill out.
It's a Republican state. It's a Republican state. You get what I'm saying? It's a Republican state. It's just like saying Georgia. Georgia is a Republican state.
We literally had to drag the last slave off the plantation in Texas, kicking and screaming.
What the hell that got to do with anything?
I'm just, it goes to what the state is based on.
It's a Confederate state,
bro.
It's probably one of the most racist states in America right now. Let's be clear.
And Georgia is too.
Yeah, I mean,
but at least with Georgia, we've had 2 Democratic senators from Georgia that's serving right now, Raphael Warnock and the white Jewish guy. I think his name is Ashk or whatever his last name is.
Let me pass it up. Let me pass the mic. Random Independent. Unmute yourself.
Yo. What's up?
What's up?
I'm mostly just listening right now. I mean, I heard the stuff about the Hispanic population doesn't like black people or whatnot, and I was a little confused, I guess, by that. So I was wondering if maybe Simp Police could elaborate a little bit. I don't know if that was
it was definitely me said it. You're confused about Latinos not liking black people?
Yeah, when I look at the voting statistics and I see that, you know, in certain elections, well, it seemed like you were saying, like, someone responded, rather, I should say, that their voting interests align with the black community or whatnot. And so that was
Nah,
kind of
that
your
wasn't me.
response.
That was Elvis on that one. I would never say
Their
no stupid
response to
shit
you.
like that.
Yeah, that was their response to you, and you seem to disagree. But when we look at the voting statistics, it seems like they do vote along similar patterns as the black community, and so that's what I'm.
No, they don't.
No, they do not.
And okay, so in what category? Because when we look
But
at
black
2020,
black people vote what 85% Democratic Party.
92%.
Yeah, Hispanics.
Black males 92. I think black women 92. Males is like high 80s.
Is 80. Yeah, black.
So
Latinos don't do that.
So what is the percentage needed for them to like the black community? What percentage would be needed? Would it be 90%? Would it be 80%? 60? The majority? What would the percentage
I mean, you just use your own logic, bro.
They hover around 66%.
This is the thing about sounding. This is the thing about sounding smart and being smart. If somebody let's take it back to school. If you got something that's 90%, if you got something that's 60%, 60% is not close to 90% in no type of way. It's the 30% difference.
But 60% is a
still a majority.
Yeah, it's a majority.
It's not because most of them don't even vote. They got a high. This is the thing. This is the thing, Dinus. This is the thing I do not like about black people.
I could have sworn the mic.
I'm just answering your question.
It was his time. You gotta let him finish, please.
By the percentage of black people and Latinos, is less Latinos that vote more than black people. They just have more numbers than us. But go ahead and finish, my brother.
I appreciate it. So if the majority of the voting population is voting in support or aligned with, let's say the black community, then it seems like you can't come out and say, oh, the Latino community doesn't like black people when they're voting similarly. And a majority.
Okay, they love black people. Okay,
nobody said that they have to love.
Politics doesn't have to be about love, St. Police. It can be about interest.
Then what's the whole conversation about? I said they don't like them. I'll change my statement and say they do like them. But they didn't vote for Kamala and they didn't vote for Jasmine Crockett. So let me retract my statement that they like black people. I'm just saying they didn't like Jasmine Crockett enough to vote for, and they didn't like Curry Go washing greens in a bathtub, slobbing, kissing white dudes, goddamn Kamala Harris. Let me leave it at that.
The majority voted for Harris, though, right?
No. Well, it depends. It depends. If it was Latino women, yes, they voted Harris, but Latino men, it was split almost 50-50. I think the majority did go to Kamala, but it was like so slim.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is that if
she won between 52 to 60% of the Latino vote last election, which is lower than average.
So that's more than that's
and what's the average of black people voting for Kamala Harris?
But we're not arguing.
Yeah, a lot higher than that. We understand that, Sim. We know that black people vote for them.
40% higher.
Yeah, but it's still a majority of Latinos that tend to vote Democrat.
That's not the point.
Election.
That's not the point where he said. He said that they vote with black people.
No, I said what?
No, I said their interests tend to align more so with the Democratic Party, which also aligns with with black people.
Oh my God,
he's having trouble following. Is what's happening here.
It is what it is. I just know that all I know is the two black women that y'all claim is black that they put up there lost, and the Latino vote was the picking point.
It wasn't a picking point because more white people could have voted and they would have won.
Oh my God, bro!
I mean, no, but that's a true statement. But that's a true statement. I mean,
when she lost, when they pulled out, what would they all talk about? What the one thing that shocked them was the vote was for the Latino.
The Latino, they said the same
thing. Every last person.
Yeah, the deciding factor in most elections are independents, right? And usually most independents are white, especially white males. So they either go, Democrat or they go Republican. Last election, they went Republican.
Elvis, you all over the place. That's not what Sid Police was talking about.
No, we're talking about the deciding factor. He said that the brother said.
Elvis, when Kamala Harris lost and now with Jasmine Crockett's lost, the black community is complaining that the Hispanic community turned on them.
Exactly. That's what the black community is saying.
I mean, that's why you have a primary. You have a candidates who make their case to the to the electorate,
Elvis, I get
and
that
then
part.
they
I get that.
decide
I
if
get
they
everything
like
you said.
that
You're right,
person's
Elvis.
message and rhetoric, and they vote for that person.
Elvis,
Yeah.
you're
Well, I
right.
mean, but
Yeah, I
but
mean,
the thing
you guys
is,
so simple minded. It's not just because you're black means you're going to win an election. That's not how it works. The
Elvis,
politics have to align with the interests of the people that's voting for you.
Elvis, you're all over the place again. The
Not all over
black
the place. I made a cogent statement just now, Dynas.
Elvis, listen. It went over your head again.
Okay. All right.
The community
Mhm.
said that they are upset that the Latinos did not vote for Kamala Harris and now Jasmine Crockett. That's
Who's the
what
No, they
community?
said they
I
never
mean,
gonna
speak English,
forgive
Dynas.
them. They said they'll
Don't be
never forgive them, Dynas. That's what they said. They said they would never forgive the Latinos
Who is
for not
them?
voting for
Who's
Kamala
saying
Harris.
that?
I think they're just
But
speaking abstract.
black folks that vote blue, team vote blue, no matter who.
Matter who.
Hey, Elvis, are
yeah,
you black?
Yeah, I'm black.
Did you vote for Democrats?
I'm a liberal Democrat. They know that
Yeah,
on this
he's an
panel.
immigrant.
Okay,
He's an immigrant. Of course he is.
So did you say that? Did
No,
you say
of
what they're
course
saying?
not.
Oh,
I know the minutia of politics. I know that politics is about interest. And if a black person, a white person,
He's an immigrant.
And I
yeah, sure.
Hey, bro, he was gonna vote for them. He would have voted for Joe Biden if he was in the
On a
wheelchair.
national on a presidential election, if it's a Democrat and a Republican, of course I'm going to go and vote for the Democrat.
Now, think about that.
On a primary
random,
level, it's different.
independent.
That's on a more
He was
local.
gonna vote for Democrat, even if it was RuPaul. If it was RuPaul,
I mean,
up
yeah,
there,
you're making
he was
assertions
gonna
now,
vote
but I'm
Democrat.
telling you, I'm a Democrat because ideologically I
Are
align
you
with the
complaining that he would
Democratic
have voted
Party.
for someone other? Are you complaining that he essentially would have voted for anyone other than Trump? Are you saying like that's a surprise?
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he was gonna vote for the Democrat Party regardless,
Police,
no matter what it was.
Hold on, guys, one mic. So as we talk right now, guess who's live? And I'm gonna share the screen. And guess what's highlighted on the screen?
Is it Roland Martin?
Jamel Hill are
Jamel
Latinos to blame for Jasmine Crockett's loss.
Are Latinos to blame?
No,
This is
not
live.
the
See, that's a
blonde.
question. Now you got to listen to the content of it to see if she agrees with that statement.
Stop it.
With that stupid ass black and mild wig on.
She
Black
might say
women
no.
right there.
Did you hear what she said, Dynas? Some people may pose the question and disagree with their own question.
Same folks have been blaming Latinos for Kamala's loss, and now they're blaming Latinos for Jasmine.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's funny,
Latinos were instrumental.
Latinos
Were instrumental in Obama winning his first term in 2008 in Florida.
But it's funny because a couple months ago, Latinos were saying, yeah, there needs to be black and brown unity when they were getting packed up and when they were protesting all over because abuelas was getting sent home, right? It's about black and brown unity then. So, I mean, you know.
Well, politics is local, Willie. The politics in Texas is not the same as the politics in California or Michigan.
Slogans, bro.
I'd agree.
Right. So you gotta understand what the Latinos in Texas want, and reflect them as a politician.
Valid point.
That's a very valid statement right there. I mean, like I said, you got to remember, Texas, conservative state, Latinos, they are for the most part a conservative race. You know, they're very religious. They kind of align with Republicans in a way when it comes to religion. You know,
Hold on.
Religion. Hold on a second.
Latinos with Democrat, Elvis.
I'm not Elvis.
Let him finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let him finish.
I'm not Elvis, but the thing is that, like I said, this is a case. This isn't a case. I do agree to a standpoint. Okay, yeah, Latinos, they're definitely not pro-black. Okay, I'll just come out and say it. But at the same time, this thing that we have, you got to understand how power in this country, you know, is delved out, and it's based on population. You combine blacks and Latinos, we still don't outnumber whites. Okay, we still don't. All right, so you know, this whole division thing, she lost because of a bunch of Latinos and stuff like that. To me, that's not very helpful. She lost probably because she ran a bad campaign. And I said the same thing. And
no, she's a bad candidate.
I voted. Yes. Well, I mean,
Wasn't a bad candidate 'cause she almost won.
I'm not watching that.
Get it together.
Hold on a second. I'm trying here. We'll just work with me now. But I mean, as far as her, I can't speak as far as she was a bad candidate or not, but I do say she ran a bad campaign, similar to Kamala. And yes, I'm a registered independent. But I did vote for Kamala, but I even said she's running a terrible campaign while I voted for her.
Okay, let's put something into context, right, brother? Darnell, who was the last candidate who was black, either male or white, to get over 1 million votes in a primary?
The last candidate that was black to get 1 million votes in a primary, I have no idea.
Right. So my point here is, in recent memory, she's done extremely well, even though she didn't win. But getting over 1 million vote as a black woman in deep red Texas, it's an achievement. Yeah, she didn't win. We're disappointed, but I think what she did was was a great accomplishment.
At all.
But you understand,
it shows you simply that she has a wide appeal. She has an appeal amongst voters in the Democratic Party.
Hold on for a second, Darnell.
She lost 52 to 46%.
Hold on for a second, bro. Hold on. What y'all need to understand why that doesn't make sense. Now, it sounds good when you say 1 million, but when you think about how large these black cities, she got most of her votes in Dallas and Houston.
When was the last time we had a black candidate who went up to a primary against another candidate?
What I'm saying is that the engagement with the black community in politics just came about in the last 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? But change that. Probably in the last 6 years, it's been getting better and better. More black people vote. But think about it like this, Elvis. It's 2.9 million eligible voters in those two cities. 2.9 million. And she only that's 3 million, so to speak. So now she didn't get but 1 million. Do you get what I'm saying? If all black people would have came out and voted for her, she would have won. But the thing about it is, her stupid ass got up there and started talking about she don't want Republican votes. That's what came out of her mouth. That is stupid. That is a political suicide.
I don't know how Texas works, but I don't think they can vote for her in the primary.
Hold on, one mic. Sim, she said she didn't want Trump voters.
Trump voters and Republican voters.
Right.
How you gonna separate the two? That doesn't even make sense.
That's not very smart.
She said that. She said that
out her own mouth. Look right in the camera when she flicked her attachment bangs out the way and said that stupid shit. That's
why. But that's why I said she was not a very good candidate.
No. I said she wasn't a good candidate. You said she ran a bad campaign.
Correct. I apologize. I misspoke. You're right. Sir. I did say that. I did. But yeah, she ran. You went
to stuttering when I said she was a bad candidate.
Well, I mean, because like I said, even though I'm from Texas, I haven't lived in Texas in a while. I did live there for about a year. My mom, I moved her from California back home to Texas, and I stayed out there for about a year, about 4 years ago. But other than that, I keep tabs on Texas politics, but I'm not fully up to speed, if that makes sense.
Can we hear the video, please? I want to get the context.
Yeah, let me hear the video.
Oh my God.
We'll hear the context.
Yeah, what type of context is that?
Says she doesn't need to convert Trump supporters in her Texas Senate bid. Rep. Jasmine Crockett said during a CNN interview Monday that she didn't need to win over supporters of President Donald Trump in Texas after announcing her Senate bid. Rep. Jasmine Crockett, D-Texas, said she wasn't trying to win over supporters.
So we don't get to hear, we just hear a commentary? Come on
Monday, after she filed to run for U.S. Senate. House Laura Coates,
hold on, let me
Cindy
Orr, video. Hold on.
Went after
I think it's just a commentary.
We know that he got close to 19.
So you can hear the context.
Yeah, CNN might do you. You might have to find it somewhere else. But I mean, she was on Laura. I was actually watching it when she said it. That's the funny part. Cause then Laura Coates, by Laura Coates being a lawyer, she gave her the chance to be like, you don't want, try to guide her. No, not the wig, not the weed wig wearing wild in the hood, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go that far and do the derogatory name calling and all
We
that.
ain't got to, Darnell. The facts are the facts. She said that she didn't need Republican vote. That's just like saying you don't need white people votes. So no matter how many white people's gonna look at that in the totality.
Hold on,
I think the word is she wasn't trying to convert MAGA, supporters.
Why would you not want to do that, Elvis?
Because that's based on ideology. They have a different ideology than her.
But why would you not want to convert them?
Why would you want to convert people who?
Because converting is changing their ideology.
Right.
So that's why they want to convert them.
But at the same time,
it's the same way how they tried to get goddamn, what was that white chick name with the Republican during the one that the dad used to be in the president of the Senate. What was her name? They had her all up there on Front Street. What was the white lady name?
I don't remember. Let me play this video though. I don't remember. Let's play this video.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No, not her.
Let's play the video. Hold on.
Somebody who has said on record that just because you commit a crime doesn't mean that you're a criminal. This is somebody who has said on record that just because somebody crosses our border illegally, that is not a crime.
Hold on. All right, go ahead. I'll find it. Guys, keep going.
It was the lady that was the Senate. She was either a senator or in the House. She was a House member when they tried to get Trump. They brought her over to the Democrat Party, had her going out, speaking and doing everything. I forget her name.
No. You're talking about Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney. So that what the Democrat did. Why you think they went and got Liz Cheney and all the rest of them to bring them over there? Because they were trying to get Republicans to come over there and vote. See, the thing about it is that she's still a Republican. Let me just get the last part out. She's a black woman. Now, if a white person said that, it doesn't look as bad. You're her saying that. But when a black woman says she don't want those voters, they're gonna take that as she don't want white voters. It would be the same way as if a white person sat up there and said, "Well, I don't want the Nation of Islam voters." Diners, how would all black people take that, Diners?
Man, they talk about us.
Mitt Romney said a similar thing about 40% of the voting bloc, right? He said that they would never vote for him, and he doesn't care because they're dependent on handouts.
He lost.
Yeah,
big time.
And he's a white man.
But
that's
the thing
is,
but the thing is, though,
I can't believe y'all that naive and y'all don't get that.
I mean, Seth hasn't said a lot of good stuff up here, but I think he is right about Jasmine Crockett running. I think it's both a bad campaign and a bad candidate to go up there and say what she said, and then you look and to talk to the title of the video. Tallarico was out there talking to Hispanics in Spanish. The dude, I don't even know if he speaks Spanish or he just learned it to speak to them.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought he was Hispanic, but I was wrong. Because he speaks Spanish.
He went out there to speak to him. I didn't see any videos of Jasmine Crockett reaching out to talk to them. He went out. Obviously played the Christian hand as well. I don't remember Jasmine Crockett doing that. I remember her saying what she said about, not wanting to court MAGA voters or people that voted for Trump. And it seemed like she wanted, and she said something about, I want to see how it goes like this. I don't really care if we lose. Let's just see if this works. And so the mentality she had was not good.
But did you hear what you just said when you said that she didn't go out and reach out to the Hispanic community? She didn't reach out for those voters, and that's why I said she ran a horrible campaign. That is your job.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think you guys are both right. It was a bad campaign and a bad candidate because a better candidate would have changed their posture.
Yeah, she's a horrible candidate. She's a horrible candidate.
Even Barack Obama, when he campaigned, for president, there was a bunch of people that was like, "Who the hell this man think he is?" But he went door to door. He went knocking on white people's door. He went to freaking the man won Iowa.
Obama was speaking Spanish. Yes, we can. He put it in Spanish. I mean, yeah, she got to be more savvy, you know, on a statewide election. That's true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Diners. Now, I'm reading a comment, and this lady saying these male-dominated dialogues reveal a lot about race, gender, and democratic politics. No, it tells you about all politics. The white people see their politicians a certain way. Then you just got to understand that. And most Democrats understand that. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you want to win mayor, state, little city stuff, little county stuff, you can do that. You can do that identity. But white people are the majority. If it wasn't for white people jumping ship to vote for Obama, he wouldn't have won. If it wasn't for white people jumping ship and going with Joe Biden, he wouldn't have won. If white people played the same game as dumbass black people, useless ass black people, 85% useless ass black people, and did identity politics, based on skin color, it would never be a black person winning for Senate, state, Senate, or presidency. It would never happen because it's statewide. As black people, we all form together like roaches in a few certain areas. White people live on the outskirts. White people live in all the different cases. In Texas, like 254 counties.
Well, I have to give you some pushback on that because, I mean, look what's going on right now within the MAGA wing, okay?
What's going on in the MAGA wing?
With President Trump, I mean, the farmers are getting screwed. Rural America looks like a freaking ghetto, right? You know, and you got to...
What's changed about the rural area? Because I drive those areas every day. What's different about it?
The farmers are taking L's. The farmers are taking L's.
How are they taking L's? He's giving them bailouts.
Why do they have those bailouts?
They've been giving that. Hold on, Darnell. Let me help you out for a second, because clearly you don't know nothing about farming. At a certain part,
I know a little bit about farming.
But let me help you out, though. Let me help you out. At a certain part of the year, even if the economy is doing good, they pay farmers to stop farming. Did you know that?
That's not what he's saying. He's talking about the impact on tariff on the farmers.
No. Hold on. I'm asking this question. He said that why do they get policy? He said, why do they get bailouts? And I'm telling you that they get bailouts when they're doing good or when they're doing bad. You get what I'm saying? You can look all this information up.
No. You're glossing over one important fact that President Trump's tariffs has ruined the American farmer, and that's why
hold on.
A lot of farmers are going bankrupt, police, because they can't compete globally. A lot of them are going bankrupt because they can't compete globally because of the tariff.
Now one of the farms have switched to another people that banks have taken over. What are y'all talking about? They getting bailouts right and left.
They're losing. The soybean farmers are losing heavily because China, because of that tariff with China. The beef farmers, Trump is now, buying Argentinian beef rather than buying American beef. He's subsidizing the beef economy in Argentina.
I know what you're talking about.
You can research it. It's not an argument.
The beef, they couldn't keep up.
It's true statements.
Y'all have no idea what y'all talking about. I deal with cattle. I deal with cattle. Y'all have no idea what y'all.
I gotta play this video, guys.
Thank you.
Y'all just yelling over each other. Play this video real quick.
Life is more legal than you think. Just ask these parents and business owners. From setting up a will or trust, to registering a business, to figuring out permits to run their business from home. When you need a legal hand, turn to LegalZoom.
How you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage.
Yeah, what she said, Don, is all of Trump supporter.
He
So
said
our
we
goal is
don't.
not to convert all of
No,
them.
she said we don't
Before
need.
Simp starts yelling again.
Hold on. She said no, we don't need to.
No, that's the point she was answering, that she don't need to convert all of them.
To all the voters. Like,
Yeah, I mean, guys, that's why I want to see the context.
this is like fifth grade conversation.
Our goal is to
Play it again,
I don't
Dinah.
know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can.
The follow-up question was on if she needs to convert all of them. She said, no, we don't.
Because
We
there's
don't
so
need
many
to.
people that get ignored,
So that's the
especially in the
context.
state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is
There you go.
61% people of color. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president who says it's a Democratic hoax.
He calls her low IQ at every turn, insults her, so. I mean,
This
she
is
can stand up
crazy right here.
she can stand up for herself.
This is crazy right here. This is
You
crazy.
can look up the bankruptcy. You know,
Hold on. Go ahead, Sip. You got a minute. I got past to Africa.
This is crazy right here because y'all sit up here listen to what she's saying. Anybody that have read a crayon colored book would say, you know what? It's a good idea to me to reach out to them. I'm gonna do my best to reach out to them. If they come along, they come along. But if they not, I'm still gonna do my best because I'm working for all Texans and not just Black and Latinos. How hard it is to say that, Dinah? How hard it is to say that. Y'all want people to sit up there and hear what she just said and be like, oh, she was just talking about some MAGA Republicans. Which one she talking about?
What she said was factually accurate.
Let me finish. I got a minute.
She's not going to convert all of them. Even if she gets 20% of them, she would have probably won.
Guys, what mic? Zip, I got to pass the mic, Zip.
Go ahead.
Africa, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I mean, looking at it from the outside, greetings to everyone. First of all, thank you, Sir Dennis, for the hard work you're putting in, enlightening the people. Basically, looking at it from here, okay, there's a lot you guys need to learn from the UK politics, man. And I'm seeing it played over there again and again and again and again. What she's going through, right? She's going through a time where you have a right-wing government that just successfully galvanized the right-wing vote and the populist vote to be in power. And then she ran a leftist campaign in a right-wing state. That's how I see it from my point of view. That's why I think Simp is not far from where I actually stood. Okay? I think she's a lefty. In the UK, we call her more like centre-left politician, more like a left politician, really. And if you're going to win, if you're going to campaign to be successful, you need to look out for the general vote. And also, she's heavily relying on identity politics, based on what I heard. What she's saying. The kind of stuff she's clamoring for. And it doesn't work in a country like America. I don't think it will work. And also, she's a woman, not to be disrespectful to his sisters. America is a very hard place for a woman to to have a breakthrough when it comes to politics. You never had a woman president in the history of America yet. And also, yes, the reason why I came in really is over this black and brown coalition thing. I don't want you guys to fall into this trap. They used that years ago on us here, and we had so many Asian politicians, again, Southeast Asian to be precise, who were elected under the black and brown coalition, okay? And what they did is they destroyed the black population in the UK. It's a very dangerous move. To think for African Americans who rely on like Hispanic or Latino people vote, I think it's a very, very risky politics to play in America, because even here We make up about 15% of the population. If we put the black and the Asian together, we could actually galvanize a lot. But the thing is, we've been played by the Asians. We've been played by the white population. So that's the reason why a lot of the black people, they rather go actually vote for a sensible white politician than and align with where it suits them when it comes to policy than identity politics. I think we need to stay away from that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying. And, I saw elements of that in previous campaigns, especially with Joe Biden. But, the thing is that, okay, so what do you suggest that we do, especially as African Americans? We make up 13% of the U.S. population. Okay, keep in mind, if you want to be president or win an election, you need 51. You need, over 50% of the vote. Okay, and so even if every black person voted for the same person, and they failed to capture enough votes from other demographics, we still lose. So, what is your solution?
My solution, that's a very good question, sir. My solution would be to work with the white progressive. Okay, based on our trend and our
black people are already doing that with white liberals.
No, I'm not talking about liberals.
That's what she does.
Progressives are even farther left, and most of the
no. Well, in the UK, it's not necessarily the some people in the center, right, and some people in the right and the left are progressive. Okay, and being liberal and being progressive are two different things over here. The reality is that it's all about the policies. You need to vote for those people that goes with the policies that suits you the most. And this is why I always accept this FBA concept of political, agenda in America, where African Americans should have their own block instead of having to rely on other groups. They should form their own blocks based on their personal interest. But this is what politics is about.
But you missed what I said about, okay, even our own interests. Again, we're 13%.
He doesn't understand American politics.
I got to pass the mic soon. So go ahead, Darnell.
I was just saying, from a standpoint, we're 13%. So again, I even throw the scenario: we all vote for the same person, same ideology. We still, without getting other ethnic groups, we still lose. So again, what is your solution?
Yeah, this is exactly what I said. You should be going with your interest. Like, for example, it shouldn't be fixed. Your voting block shouldn't be fixed to the Republicans or the Democrats. Okay, you should look at the party before, like, for example, in election time. You should put your case forward to the party because I don't know about in America, but in the UK, they have every party got different wings. Okay, so if you have, you should split into two groups. I think that's my number one thing. The black vote African Americans is split into two.
Sir,
okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Guy, let him finish. Now I'm passing it to Sub-Zero.
Thank you, sir.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. I want to ask the gentleman a question after he's done about Britain.
Sub-Zero, he has to finish. Africa, go. You got 30 seconds. I'm gonna pass the mic.
Okay, thank you, sir. You should split the vote into two blocks. African American vote. Don't rely on black Africans. F them. Don't worry about the other groups. F them. These people are not serving your interest. They come to serve their own interest. You, the Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, as you call yourself, split your voting block into two. Half Republican, half Democrat. Ask both of the party what you want. So whichever party that wins, make sure that is actually enshrined in their constitution, where in the party where you have enough, leverage for those policies to be achieved. Basically, that's my advice to you, sir.
All right, go ahead, Sub-Zero. Unmute yourself, Sub-Zero. Unmute yourself, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. The difference between the United States and Britain is the United States is a two-party duopoly. Over there in Britain, you have the Labour Party and you have the Tory, which is the Tory party, which is the conservatives. But you still have small minor parties and you guys are under a parliamentary system. So it's much different there because there's not a monopolization of the political landscape like it is here in the United States. So when the gentleman asked you the question about, okay, what do we do about it? Because yes, we are 13-14% of the population, and we are of a political party that represents primarily a plurality of the voting population. And if, let's say, like happened in the last presidential election, when the so-called Latinos, I believe many of these people classify themselves as white, voted for Trump, and even if black people voted as a solid block for the Democrat, it would have still been close, but Harris would have still lost the election based on our electoral college voting system. So my question to you is, what do we do here in the United States under the political monopolization of the two-party system, which represents one party represents the interests of white people, and the other party, Democrats, represents the interests of cosmopolitan, liberal, white business people?
Right. First of all, to correct you, sir, in the UK, we do have two parties that have governed this country throughout. It's only, I think, a couple of times we had coalition, which was the center-left party, the Liberals, and the Conservative Party, who came together and formed a coalition in my lifetime. Okay. Oh, but throughout the history of the UK, they always had the left and the rights. But at the moment, we have a party that's supposed to be a left-wing party, but they actually are more like a center-left, where their policy is actually more fiscally, they're normally fiscally left, but at the moment, when it comes to immigration and other things, they're actually right. Okay, so I think you should split your vote in half and make sure you're fairly represented in both of the parties. So each one is a game you can play. You can play that game. Trust me, it will work because for example, we had the Asian groups in the UK for years. They used to support the left, the party in the left, okay, which is the Labour Party in government now. But then as time goes on, they switch their legion, they split their vote into two. Okay, so some of them goes into the left, some of them goes into the right. So no matter whoever comes into power, they're equally represented. So you need to actually strategize. That's my advice. So you stay on both parties. Don't get taken for granted by one, please. Don't.
Have you ever heard? Have you heard of the movie My Fellow Americans?
No.
It's a comedy movie back in the 90s. Two former presidents are on the run. You know, they were it's very funny actually. But there was a very serious moment where they run into a couple that was homeless, you know, and this couple, they just had bad luck from both parties. Keep in mind, these two presidents were from conservative party, basically Democrat, Republican, you know, but, under one president, her husband lost his job under one president, and then they lost their home under another president years later, you know, and they mentioned that, you know, and here's the thing, what the one of the presidents says, and in my opinion, it's a very good quote. But he says, the voice of the American people, there's no such thing. Everybody is always hollering, they want different stuff. The only thing the American people can seem to agree on, we want government to do more for us, and we want to pay less taxes. That's about it.
Now, that's the smartest thing. That's a quote. That's the smartest thing you said.
Yeah. Let me pass the mic. Go ahead, Willie. Unmute yourself, Willie. Unmute yourself, Willie.
He pushing the goalpost, Nigel.
All right, go ahead, Nigel. Unmute yourself, Nigel.
Thanks for having me this in Diners. Greetings all to all the panelists.
How you doing, Nigel?
Yeah, I'm doing good, and to all the panelists and the viewers.
Yes.
I see. The truth is that I think I've been saying this for quite a while now. That I'm not sure any community became powerful due to their voting bloc in America, and I'm not even sure the same is true for around the world. I think the idea of democracy seems to be to have the major groups have their say somehow to their leaders. But if you look at America today, I'm not even sure that is true anymore, because people vote for certain things and they get something else and they don't have a choice. So to an extent, I'm becoming a little bit disillusioned with the idea of democracy, apart from that of Switzerland that seems to be more direct and allows people to do whatever they like to their leaders if their leaders choose not to listen to them. So give me one community in America that became powerful because of their voting bloc. The reason why they are powerful, they can be few, but if you pull a lot of weight outside politics, then you have the resources to be able to leverage it within politics. That's how you truly have influence. The reason why she lost, God knows, I think she's a little bit of a Zionist, and she sounds like those type of robotic politicians. I'm not sure is going to get anybody anywhere these days. The more
She's the opposite of that.
Maybe I might be wrong, but from reading about her, I read about her. I never really heard her. I don't go that deep into her politics. Maybe I should, but from what I've read, she sounds like one of those people that say, "I just want a ceasefire when children are getting massacred. I just want a ceasefire on both sides. You're not calling out the side that is actually responsible for causing such carnage." So I don't subscribe to people that pretend as if they don't see something going wrong. This is what Kamala Harris did too. And then now we have Trump going around the world causing all kinds of chaos. And now we don't even know how escalating the entire situation is, because they are blowing up ships outside the war zone now. And this makes American ships also vulnerable to attacks anywhere in the world now. So the entire thing, nobody voted for this. So it tells you that democracy as it stands is not, I think it's a little bit overrated in the way the Western, especially America, practices it. In the UK, you can argue that maybe they do have a little bit of a say, and the UK system seems to be more accountable. If you look at the Epstein issue too, the UK one seems to be more accountable than the American one. And American politics, American one, it seems to be based on things that happen outside politics, the people that have power, that have resources, that can influence politicians. And if you can do that in America, you do very well. We can see how Israel is basically, basically dog walking Trump left and right, and Trump follows whatever he says. Maybe that's the kind of policies we want to play. And I hear what Africa said. Not every time I agree with him, because these days he's a little bit rougher person, but he's right to say that you should not subscribe to any political party. You want to look at the one that will give you what you want, have a stake in both of them, because they are all, if we look at our history, they are all not on our side. Let's face it. It's not even them being on our side. Are we on our side?
Exactly to Nigel.
Are we even on our
side? God damn.
So we have to be on our side and protect our interests at all times, because nobody's going to do it for you. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Hey, let me ask you a question,
you're a minority. You're a minority in the population.
Black people.
Hold on, y'all. Let me ask the guy a question to Nigel. But listen, just like you said, we're not for sale. So it's just like you're outside and you want the guard dog. You got a big dog and you like, hey, go sit this, go pick up this tree, go pick up the tree, and it bring you back a water hose or something. And he just say, well, at least I brought you something. We're not for sale. We putting all this energy in political parties. And you know what? I give you a better example too, Nigel. Just like football teams or soccer teams. We put all that into the owners, into the teams. You get what I'm saying? The owners do what the hell they want to do. If they like a player, they want to get rid of a player, they'll get rid of a player. They don't give a fuck about the audience. They're gonna tell their fans to just accept it. That's what both political parties do in the United States. And the last question I got for you tonight is the most important question of it all, is that when you married your white woman, did you take her last name or did she take your last name?
Damn, did you have to go there?
So easy, my brother.
Everybody thinks I have a white wife now.
But did you?
All right. I gotta pass the mic. Go ahead, Philip. Liz, go ahead, Philip.
What's up, Dynasty? Man, I see we're throwing blows right off the top. Simp Academy, my gosh.
I can't help it, bro.
Hey, what's it like being with a white woman? I gotta know.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nigel, is it always celery and carrots and olives in the refrigerator in the bowl?
Oh, man. Tonight, I don't mind them. Don't mind them.
Guy, let me go ahead, Philip. Go ahead,
If I
Philip.
may,
No,
to bring
Sub-Zero. It's not your turn. It's Philip. Go ahead, Philip.
Okay, you want me to go answer, or you want me to shut it?
Go ahead, Philip.
Okay, this will be quick. What's up, Dinus? That the points that I've been on for years. Number one, the politics thing is a waste of time without the money. We don't have the money, and we're not working with the Africans in West Africa to have leverage at the trade table to make stuff happen for us. So basically, we're just voting, to be recognized as a group. But in terms of actually getting policy, it's not going to happen without the money. And I put it in the chat, and I put it here. The small hats are less than 2% of the population in the United States. Yet we're now fighting a war on basically their behalf. And the reason why is because Marian Adelson, her husband, who's now deceased, donated $250 million to the Trump campaign. Her alone, not to mention some of these other small hats that have given to people throughout the Congress, including Jasmine Crockett. And the bottom line is, why do the CBC take this money? Because unfortunately, Black Americans don't donate in large numbers or cash to their politicians. And the name of the game is money. In order to have a Senate seat, you got to raise $60,000 minimum a month to keep that seat. To have a House seat, you got to raise at least $30,000 a month to keep that seat. We don't donate that kind of money to our politicians. So then they go shopping among the corporate people and the big donors, many of whom are small hats, to get the money to stay in office. And so when they get in there, they're doing policy for the people that gave them money. It's that simple. Now, on the African side, we just looked at this. Nigeria just signed itself over to the United States, essentially, in this last trade policy that Trump went in with. They signed over their health care, and they agreed to have a military base in Nigeria now. So it's very hard to have leverage. The way it's supposed to work is the Black Americans take a position. We want this trade, that trade. We want to be able to send things back and forth to the Caribbean and to Africa, and we don't want tariffs on it. Then when the Nigerians, the Liberians, the West Africans, the Senegalese go to the trade table, they're like, yeah, so this iron ore that you need, this oil that you need, this bauxite, this uranium, you're not going to get it unless we get custom-free trade with our Black Americans in the United States. That's how it works. We're not playing the game like that. We're playing it. The Black Americans are on one side, the Africans are on the other side, and both of us are letting the Mzungu dictate our policy.
And the Latinos.
Yeah, well, I'm not even dealing with them. I'm just dealing with what we are doing that we can control. And we're not playing the game properly. We have to play it. It's a money game. I just broke down very simply what the money is. If we don't have the money, which we traded that away at the end of the civil rights movement to integrate into Mzungu businesses, we did not maintain our small business community. And
what about the $2 trillion, Mr. Phillip?
$2 trillion. The $2 trillion goes right into the hands of Mzungus. Just ask Jordan, Louis Vuitton, the BMW maker, the Mercedes maker. We take our money, and as soon as it gets in our hand, we give it right back to the Mzungus.
So you're saying Black people are emotional slaves?
You not gonna get me on that.
All right, guys, let me pass the mic to Renee. Go ahead, Renee. Renee, we can't hear you.
You gotta give her a chance to settle in, Titus.
We settle. She's
they don't be ready, man. She probably had to put on the makeup, fix a wig, you know what I'm saying? Get tighten up a leg.
Bro. Come on, brother. Uncle Simp.
Renee, guys, hold on. Renee, are you there, Renee?
Tell you.
No, hold on. Renee. Renee, call leave the chat and call back in, Renee. We can't hear you.
That is cracking
Diana,
the
I wanted
whip.
to make a comment real quick before I drop off. I just want to make a point on the Latinos and African American Coalition, right? Or the Black Voters Coalition. Look, we agree that the Latino outnumber Black people in this country in terms of total population. But in the Democratic Party, you've had more Black people, whether they be of African descent or African American descent, thrust into national leadership when it comes to the Democratic Party in particular. Right now, you have Hakeem Jeffries, who's probably going to be the first African American Speaker of the House if the Democrats win, come the midterms. You had, of course, Barack Obama, a president of African descent. If you count Kamala Harris, she has some African ancestry in there. She was a vice president. We haven't had a lot of Latinos, on the national stage being in leadership position, even though they outnumber Black people in terms of the voting population in the Democratic
Question is,
Party.
how many of those Latinos are classified as white, and how many of them are classified as non-white? Because
if you have a couple of names that's been in leadership who are Latinos and classified as white, I'd like to know them.
Hey, Elvis,
We haven't really seen a lot of them.
let me tell you why what you just said right there makes no sense. And this is the thing that the problem with Black people. What you just named up, you named symbolism. You named Hakeem Jeffries that don't do a goddamn thing but complain. You named Barack Obama that didn't do nothing for Black people, and all he did something for was the LGBT.
Yeah, wait a minute.
He did an Asian hate bill. He didn't do shit for Black people in his last 4 years. And y'all talk shit about Trump, but you know what thing I respect about Trump? That he's doing something for white people, and he don't give a fuck what you got to say about it. In the last 4 years.
I agree.
In the last 4 years of Barack Obama, hold on, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. And you said you were gonna say something there, Jump. I'm just rebutting what you're saying. What I'm saying is the last 4 years of obesity, he could have sat up there and said, well, you know what? I'm gonna do something for Black people. I don't know when the next time it's gonna be a Black president, but I'm gonna do everything I can. Cause damn show Trump doing it, and he got damn proud of doing it. He's unapologetic.
My point is that Latinos continuously support Democrats in their majority, even though there's not a Latino at the top of the ticket or at the second part of the ticket.
We can sing at the same time. We can't talk at the same time. I let you say whatever you was gonna say before I rebut it.
Simply 30 seconds.
30 seconds. That's all I need. Diners, you know why Latinos don't need office? Because they don't want symbolism. They vote in the power block. They got their own political parties, like Philip Lindsay was saying. They got their own. They want unity. They want stuff for their people. Black people, like Elvis, sit up here thinking that Black people, that's all we want is symbolism. Throw us a Jasmine Crockett. Throw us a
being a president has power.
That ain't
being a speaker has power.
You tell me one thing that we got out of having these Black people in office, Diners. Tell me one thing we got, but I can tell you a million things that Latino got for them voting in their group and their political party. You tell me one thing we got as Black people with all these Black leaders in the Senate and the House, Diners. Name me one.
But what do they get?
There's nothing that Latinos have that Black people don't have access to.
I gotta pass my question to Ponder. Go ahead, question to Ponder. Unmute yourself. Question to Ponder. Unmute yourself.
Hello, Dinah. Good afternoon.
Hey, good. How are you? Go ahead.
Very good, very good. So I had been listening. Darnell, Elvis made some really good points, but I just want to emphasize the reason why Jasmine lost is because she's not from Texas. She's not a Texas girl. I did listen to the CNN clip, I believe, that you posted. And if she's a prep school girl, but she's not a Texas girl. Even though she did attend University of Houston, she is barred in Texas. So she does have her law license in Texas. But she's not from Texas. The seat that she came from, that she represented, belonged to Eddie Bernice Johnson, District 30. That is a very important seat to African-American women, especially in that particular area of Texas. That seat is not going away. The late Eddie Bernice Johnson, the only reason why she no longer has that seat is because she passed away. There was a special election, and Jasmine was essentially chosen to complete the rest of Eddie Bernice Johnson's tenure, her period, before Jasmine actually ran on her own. So she's technically only ran for office only one time, just one time. And then prior to that, she was completing Eddie Bernice Johnson's stint. So you have someone who has not held this particular seat that long. And this seat was created for Eddie Bernice Johnson by Herbert Walker Bush in the early 90s. When they were doing redistricting, it was just discussed that a seat would be created. And this was a Democrat, Eddie Bernice Johnson, created by then Republican Herbert Walker Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush. So there is always a willingness to cross party lines when it comes to Texas. And Jasmine just doesn't have that lineage, that pedigree, that heritage in the state. Darnell made an interesting point. I think he said that he's done some traveling or he lived in California, but he said that his mother is in Texas or she's from Texas, if I heard correctly. So,
yes, my mother was born in Dallas. She lived in California, in San Francisco Bay Area. Her husband passed away, and I helped her move back home.
There we go. That speaks volumes. If you're from Dallas, Eddie Bernice went to elementary school in Dallas. She went to college in Dallas. You have State Senator Royce West. You have even Cornyn. The Bushes run deep in Texas. His wife is from Midland. Like all of these known Texas politicians, they have deep roots in Texas, either by marriage or just their family. Jasmine does not. That's why you hear some of the things she's saying, Dynas. It's not going to run, it just doesn't run correctly with Texas. I mean, here's a good question. Is she even a Cowboys fan? Like, I mean, I know that sounds very, very trite and inconsequential, but those little details do matter. And if she had
fuck the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys.
Okay.
The Houston, it's the Houston Texans for me. I'm sorry. Fuck the Cowboys.
But anyway, like
drop dead with that bullshit.
And there we go, representing Massa's money.
Come on now, she's making a good point.
Darnell, think about
No. Dallas ain't shit compared to Houston. I'm sorry.
Can we just? I'll just wrap up. But if you're representing a district 30, Eddie Bernice Johnson district, it's kind of an expectation that you would be a Cowboys fan. And anyone, especially someone Jasmine's age, you would know quite a bit about their history. I mean, Jerry, et cetera, et cetera. She doesn't really have that. And Darnell, I'm just being honest.
Who the hell cares about Jerry Jones with his sexually abusing ass?
Okay, Darnell.
Who cares about them criminals?
Darnell,
let's let the lady speak, please.
Thank you, Darnell. I'm just asking you, like you have family from there. Does Jasmine give off Texas girl to you, regardless of race?
Does Jasmine give off sexually abused vibes like Jerry Jones? There we go.
No, I'm just asking you because
you going off the rails, Darnell, bro. You going off the rails, bro.
I didn't even speak yet.
It's not Darnell. I'm just asking you, like maybe even if you speak to your mom, like does her personality, her energy, is maybe if your mother is familiar with the private schools in Dallas, does Jasmine just kind of give off that energy, that effect that she's someone who would have been raised in Dallas within the past, let's say 40, 45 years? Like someone who's like, like an 80s baby, 90s kid. And I'm just like, just your experience. And I just want to ask that, is that everyone—
What does that have to do with an election?
Well, hold on.
Everyone from Texas is very—
It's Dynas. Let him answer the question because it's your question.
Yeah, Darnell, think about it. You know how insular Texas is, and all the politicians that you and your mother would know, they all have roots, heritage, pedigree in Texas, regardless of race. There's a
bunch of transplants in Texas that are not from Texas.
Darnell, I can say
you got to give him a chance to answer, sis.
Yeah. The question. Let him answer the question. Go ahead, Darnell.
As an answer to your question, my mom probably she would not agree a whole lot with. I think she would have the same sentiment you have, that Jasmine Crockett is not a Texas girl. You know, my mom, hey, you got to understand, my mom was born in 1955 in Dallas, Texas. Okay. So my mom, she, you know, she's from there. She speaks the link. She speaks like a even when she lived in California for all the decades she did, she ain't never lost a damn accent, you know. And my mom, you know, she's a straight, when it comes to stuff like that, she is a straight shooter. When it comes to stuff like that, she hates both Democrats, she hates both Republicans. And I'll tell you this, is that she, you know, she recognizes a transplant when she sees one.
Thank you.
You know? Hold on. Let me read the super chat. No thanks. Thank you for holla. All I'm going to say
is this.
I'm talking. Let me read the super chat. All I'm going to say is this: the system is fixed. Meanwhile, you have white power patriot groups forming faith-based organizations that have access to land grants, smart cities, while we lose land. All right, go ahead.
And Darnell, like you remember the late Ann Richards, she was the last Democrat. It was really the Bush family who came in and turned that state Republican. But prior to that, it was all it was Democrat.
It was Democrat, yeah.
But all the Bushes are from Connecticut. All the Bushes are from Connecticut.
I think it was like almost 100 years Democrat.
But they're not Texans. They're not Texans.
Governor, before you had a Republican governor. And Darnell,
like had a Republican governor before Bush.
George W. Bush, the former.
You remember the SMU scandal from the 80s?
She's from Midland.
Wait a minute. Answer that question. Do you remember the SMU scandal?
I think, Darnell, you kind of see where I'm coming from, and that's why I believe she lost.
SMU scandal.
It's more than just party. If you don't represent Texas, if no one can okay, yeah, I know her from school. I know her from church. I know her parents. I know her people. Like, she doesn't have people from Texas. She doesn't have a city from there. And regardless of
the Bushes don't either.
Regardless
of
your party or from your race, if you don't have roots in that state, it's going to be very, very difficult.
But George Bush never had roots
Prescott Bush doesn't have roots.
He developed roots in the state.
He developed roots.
He had been there for like 5 generations at least. So they do have roots there.
They're not from Texas.
But they've established their roots there, though.
Don't fucking matter. They're from Texas. They're from Connecticut.
Sub-Zero, man, you crashing now. I apologize, Darnell. It wasn't you. It's Sub-Zero. He crashing now. You don't get it.
You know why Jasmine lost. You know why she lost. Okay, thank you, Dinah. You're the best. Thank you, Dinah. Bye.
I know why Jasmine lost. Very simple and plain. They did not want Jasmine. Look, let's keep it real. They can't stand that black bitch. They just can't. They can't stand it.
Dinah's coming
on. I'm being serious, and I'm not being facetious when I say that. I'm not being facetious when I say that.
No,
hold on. Sub-Zero. When you say who specifically, Sub-Zero?
You know who, and I don't have to spell it out for you, but I'll say it anyway. I'll say it.
The white power structure in Texas can't stand.
Hell yeah, the white people in Texas, in particular, on both Republican and Democratic Party, they work hand in glove with each other. About this whole issue with like the people having to be turned away from one voting precinct to have to go to another one. Like,
whose fault is that? But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
I mean, well, they drew the districts. Remember these districts that got drawn?
No, but why? Who's responsible for announcing where they're supposed to vote at?
They're actually the state supposed to notify you. Okay, your district is here. You vote here. You don't vote there anymore. You got to vote over here. So I also say this too about Crockett. Crockett, I think, kind of overplayed her hand when dealing with the white power structure of the Democratic and Republican parties, respectfully. And the fact that black people in this country, we are politically outgunned and we're politically outnumbered.
Thank you.
And so we got to cut the BS here. We're in a system of white supremacy racism. People can deny that. People can say, "Oh, you're crazy, guy. You don't know what you're talking about. You're nuts." No, we're not nuts. And even if Jasmine won, do you think she was going to win the general election in that state? Hell no. Hell no.
I mean, hey, it's possible. I mean, right now, I mean,
bro, come on, Darnell, man. Don't do no fence riding. They know where in Texas. Come on, we're not talking about just the major Dallas and Houston and Austin. She would have to win. She would have to win the whole state.
Hey, you're talking about
hold on. Just
Darnell, do you know how many counties you in Texas? Do you know how many counties are in Texas?
You got a whole bunch. Not what 100?
No, it's 200. It's 200 counties. It's 200. Hold on, now let me say. Do you know where all the black people? Do you know the how many counties where black people are the majority?
Harris.
No, you ain't got to name them. Just how many?
Maybe just one or two at best.
It's two
at best.
So think about it. Now think about it. That's why I was saying. I'm gonna use my inside voice. I heard what y'all was saying in the chat. I'm be yelling. I know I'm just passionate. You know what I'm saying? I got Nigel up here too. He got a white woman, so I need to show some respect. Now, what I'm saying is that that's two counties. You get what I'm saying? That has the majority of the black people. I say again, the problem with black people that the Democrat convince us that we need to all come together and get these the government subsidies. You can get government subsidies easier when you stay in a bigger city. You get what I'm saying? You got more black people working for the city. You got more black people where we don't think about these nuances. Black people don't stay on the outskirts that can push those levers to make it even. If she only wins 2, but then you got all these other counties out there. You got 252 more counties that are white people driven, and
but
her silly dumb. This last one. 30 more seconds. Can I get 10 more seconds? 10 more seconds, please.
Brother, go ahead. Do you think?
And then the most dumbest, what you just said, the stupidest thing she can get up there and say is that I don't have to try to convert or talk to. Now, regardless of what she said, the people that's listening to that she was saying that I ain't got to talk to them. I ain't got to even dress them at all. We know what the fuck she was saying. That's how she felt because that's how the
let me ask you. That's how
the Democrat Party feels against Trump. We ain't gonna talk to him. We ain't gonna mess it. We ain't even gonna try to do nothing about it.
But I witnessed the same. I witnessed the same thing under Obama. And by the way, can you guys guess the last? Yes, the Republican Party. We're gonna just vote no. When they took the House in 2010, they just said, we're just going to vote no. We don't give a damn what he says. Hold on a second.
Y'all talking about two different
That was the thing. That was what the vote. That's what the voters. That's what the voters.
I'm talking about for Obama to win. No. Y'all are not politically astute. For Obama to win the office twice, he had to get out there and shake hands and kiss white people babies.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm not going to deny that. I'm sorry to talk over because. Sorry.
No, I just want to say just real quick, okay? When you mentioned that, okay, black people can't win, in white heavy areas. I mean, guess who the last Democrat to win Montana and Iowa?
About no goddamn Montana.
Hold on a second. This is not about you. This is not about you.
It was Barack Obama. The goalpost,
it was Barack Obama.
Is about Texas.
Yes, he did. He won. He won Montana.
Why are you talking about Montana?
And he won Iowa.
Guys, we got some new people on the panel, and so I'm gonna text Fitzgerald Stevens because we have Brandon and Simp Police Academy on at the same time. And Fitzgerald, to this day, swears that Brandon and Simp Police is the same person.
Hey, man, great minds think alike.
Hey, to this day, he swears that y'all the same person. So go ahead, Brandon. Unmute yourself.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett, black folks is going to try to blame everything they can as to why the woman lost. The woman really never had a chance to begin with because the district that she's running for is a very heavily Republican area. So basically, her and James Tallarico,
Republican area. Her district's not a Republican area.
Let me finish. Her and James Tallarico are going to they're basically running to see who's going to lose because it's a statewide election, right? Texas is very much red, okay? And so she never really had a chance. Jasmine knew she didn't have a chance. And Jasmine said that she was running to try to open people's minds, right? That was her words. She was trying to get people to be optimistic, get people who, she was trying to draw in voters who traditionally would not have voted for her, right? Well, she made a huge misstep because she insulted Latino people within the first couple of days or weeks of her campaign for Senate. That if she was done at that point, when she said that they have a house slave mentality, right? She was done. She knew she was done.
And where was she wrong at? And where was she wrong at?
Wait a minute, my brother. Wait a minute, my hyper emotional brother. Wait a minute, my hyper emotional brother.
Hey, Sub-Zero, you got to let them talk. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon.
She was wrong because Black people have a slave mindset. Latinos do not. Latinos, let me tell you, let me teach Sub-Zero, educate him real quick. If you and Democrats,
is it the same dude that got smacked around by a white liberal? Yeah. Destiny? Oh, yeah, I know who you got slapped around by Tariq Nasheed, calling you a fat bitch and everything.
I got slapped around by what? Okay, that's fine. Listen, Black people, Democrats could disrespect them to their face day in, day out for 75 years. We're still going to vote Democrat. That's the slave mentality. She had one opportunity to disrespect the Latinos, and they said, we're not voting for her. That's not the slave mentality. Black people always try to approach other groups as if they're other minority groups, as if they're beneath them. And we just have to come to the point, the realization that when it comes to politics, can you shut this guy up? We have to accept that when it comes to politics, a lot of minority groups have transcended us. We're still on plantation politics. These people are really in it for whoever's going to give them the most. And I promise you, if those Republicans come, if those Republicans
let him finish, brother. Please let him finish.
If those Republicans come with an idea or policy or package that benefits Hispanics in Texas or nationwide, they will vote Republican again. Black folks mad. Black folks are mad. Black folks are mad.
Republicans give Latinos?
Hey, you know what I tell you? You know what I tell you? Go out to Texas to those oil fields. Go out to those construction sites in these other states.
You're in California.
Go out to that's why I said Texas.
Just like I'm in Virginia. You're in California.
Go to these construction. It's gonna reach you soon enough, my friend. Go out to these construction sites in these other states. The legal Hispanics, the ones who own legal businesses that pay taxes, they are thriving right now because of the reduction in regulation from Donald Trump. Every time
a small number of people in that community.
Dinus, you got to get this guy. Dinus, you got to get this guy.
I muted him. Hey, Sub-Zero, don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him, Sub-Zero. Don't interrupt him.
Every time a Republican gets in and deregulates, legal Hispanics win because they own so many businesses in the service industry. They are, they're taking over the service industry, Uber, all that. So they look for deregulation because they're into starting businesses and employing people. You do know when you go sit down at the Mexican restaurant and you see all those Mexicans working in there, there's a Mexican who started that business and he's hiring other Mexicans. So if that guy is looking at a political candidate, and we know it's hard for Black people to look at stuff like this, but if that guy's looking at a political candidate, do you think he's looking at, he might see the guy deporting Mexicans and be like, you know what, that's tragic. That's not fair. They're not all criminals, right? But then he looks at the other guy who says, look, we're going to do no tax on tips. He looks at the guy who says, look, we're going to lower the cost of doing business by doing X, Y, Z. He now is going to vote along the lines of what helps him sustain his business, what keeps his employees paid, and what ultimately puts money in his pocket. That outweighs everything. Even now, nationwide across all political identities, the number one issue is the economy. That that will always determine who wins an election, the economy. And if you look at the Democrats, they have no economic ideas other than raising taxes on people who make a certain amount of money. And that's a losing strategy, because we already seeing in the other.
It's not a losing strategy. They're
We're
talking about
already
raising on
seeing
people
in the other.
who own corporations.
Listen, we're already seeing, and this is my last point, Don, is 30 seconds. We have already seen a Democrat strategy at work, which is raise taxes on the rich. They leave and run away from you, and then the taxes fall down on the middle class. Everyone in America sees that that's what Democrats want to do, and they see that strategy is a failure. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you say until the Democrats come with realistic economic policy. The Republicans will continue to win, because at this point, the middle class, like me, hustle smart, normal people, diners, we're looking at Democrats saying all they gonna do is try to raise taxes on the rich. When they leave, their taxes gonna fall on us. We ain't voting Democrat. You could say whatever you want to. You could try to flip it however you want to. She lost because she has no ideas. She has no policies. She never wrote a single law while sitting in Congress. And Jay Tallarico is the person they think they could win with. He's gonna lose too, but he's not ghetto. He's not buck dancing, and he's a professional. He's gonna lose, but he's a better option than Jasmine Crockett. And give me one policy or one law Jasmine Crockett wrote or drafted while she was in Congress that got passed. I'll wait.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind. You still with me, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you mentioned about the Democrats' policy of just taxing the people at a certain income. I assume you mean the rich, which is kind of a true statement. They, every time, hey, we're going to start taxing the rich, and Democrats do say that. But at the same time, what makes you think that Republican economic policy is any better? In fact, I think history at this point has proven that Republicans have a worse track record with the economy than Democrats do.
He just explained it to you.
Are you asking a question?
Just explained it to you.
Is it a question or a statement?
It's a question.
Here's a question. How many Latinos are business people? What population of Latinos are actual business people? Let's say hypothetically.
Well, you're answering the question, and that's for me another question.
Let me answer the question. I'm going to answer your initial question.
Thank you.
If you look at Democrats, we are getting a first-hand view of what their economic policy is going forward. You think that Zohran Mamdani, Brandon Johnson, Abigail Spanberger.
No, sir, I don't think that. Porter, I know where you're going, and no, I don't think that. No, you're trying to add words in my mouth.
Can we stop talking over each other, bro? Can we have some respect for people talking and stop talking over?
He asked me a question. He asked me a question. He doesn't like the answer, so he's going to filibuster. Democrat strategy. Katie Porter, Brandon Johnson, all those Democrats you're seeing who are all over the internet, that is a strategy that has been handed down to them from the DNC. This is what we're running on, affordability. And then when people say, how are you going to create affordability or deal with the affordability crisis? Well, we're going to tax the rich. They need to pay their fair share. Bernie Sanders model. What they didn't count on was the fact that the rich would leave those areas if they were facing draconian taxation policy. So guess what? Once the rich leave, who are left to pay those taxes once they're passed into law? Look at Chicago. Look right now at New York. Look right now at Virginia. The middle class. Americans are not stupid. We are looking at how this plays out. All the rich people, if they got to move to Wyoming to avoid taxes, they'll do that. If they got to move to Florida to avoid taxes, they'll do that. So what you're doing is you're condemning. What you're doing is you're doing a very heinous, diabolical, evil, demonic act. You are trying to prey on your neighbor because he has more than you. You're digging a hole, a pit for someone else. But guess what? You're ended up falling in it. Democrats are falling in their own pit because they're trying to get somebody's money unjustly. And guess what? They're getting hit with the bill at the end of the day. We see it. It's very evident, and no one's voting for that, no matter what you say.
Hold on a second. Let me handle this. Let me handle this, please. Okay.
Well, hold on. In fact, first, let me read this super chat. Summer non other T3K. Thank you for $2 holla. Diners, what's the difference between Pinky Cole and Crockett? One sells hamburgers and the other doesn't. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say this real quick. Okay, first of all, you're trying to put words in my mouth, and from the last portion of your speech, it sounds like you're trying to demonize me and make me sound like I'm a communist or a socialist, which is not true. I invest in the stock market, etc. But the thing is that I was trying to point out, okay, is that both sides, believe it or not, actually tax the middle class unfairly. Okay. The Democrats, you are correct. They are the tax and spend party. As my father likes to say, the Democrats are the party of tax and spend, and the Republican Party is the party of borrow and spend. Okay. What ends up happening is both parties wind up screwing us over. Okay. With the Republicans, I know their tax cuts sound great and all this other stuff, but let's just be real. The middle class does not see those tax cuts. Okay. In fact, they wind up paying for these tax cuts. We wind up paying for it with shitty roads. Okay. Not only shitty roads and things of that nature, but, at the same time, the deficit. Growing up, I remember.
Man, you are rambling, bro.
You are the one that's. Hold on a second. You're the one
rambling.
That
you start talking about
you interrupt. No.
Do you drive for a reason? I drive all over the United States. And everywhere you go,
please.
The roads are being restructured. Please, you have no idea. You just rambling, bro.
Will you shut up, please?
Hold on, Darnell. You got 45 seconds, Darnell. 45 seconds. Go.
Okay, I've had to listen to all this BS for a while. Hold on a second.
You got 45 seconds, Darnell. Go.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, I've had to listen to this BS for a while. All right. Now, when it comes to the roads, I got a point on that, and you guys can't defeat that. So that's why he has to do these ad hominem attacks. But when it comes to these tax cuts, remember, growing up, I've always heard this about the debt. Every time a Democrat gets into office, Republicans are screaming about the national debt, and we got to pay off the deficit. But then where are the deficit hawks every time a Republican gets into office? We've had George Bush. We've had Donald Trump, not once, but now twice. We've had Ronald Reagan. The deficit hawks just disappear. And what it winds up happening, the middle class winds up paying these taxes anyway.
Diners, can I get 30 seconds to respond to that? Just 30 seconds. Please,
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. According to IRS data showed that Americans with an adjusted gross income between $50,000 and $100,000 saw an average federal tax reduction of approximately 13% to 15% between 2017 and 2019. So Trump reduced middle class taxes. People earning between $50,000 and $100,000, he reduced their taxes 13%. For the
I gotta pass the mic.
That's not 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was 30 seconds. See,
no, it wasn't 30 seconds. It was 15, 20.
It was 30 seconds.
It was 20.
Well, in 2025, we also saw a doubling of the child tax credit by Trump, and we're seeing people get now higher tax.
Yeah, that's definitely 30 seconds now.
That's definitely a reduction in taxes.
Go ahead, Quincy. See, Brandon, that's that Long Beach Public Schools education. You can't read that. That's Long Beach Public Schools. You know what I'm saying? Long Beach.
Yeah. Y'all give me
Come on with the heat, Quincy. Come on with the heat.
Oh man, I'm a little more calm than y'all, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just ready to prompt. Y'all jumped all over the place. But as far as the prompt go, I think Democrats are in a discovery phase of who Latinos truly are. I think they overplayed their hand trying to prioritize Latinos as if they'll be beholden to them in the same manner that black folks are, and they keep finding out over and over that just ain't the case. In fact, a lot of Latinos lean and vote conservative way more than Black Americans do. And I think that one of the biggest problems is that they try to copy and paste how they approach Black Americans and try to paste it on every other quote unquote minority in the country, and it just don't work. And they keep finding out it just don't work. So I think ultimately, like the phase where Black Americans were maybe in the 50s and 60s, we were kind of maybe bouncing between parties before we kind of just settled on the Democrat Party. I think that may be somewhat similar to what's going on with Latinos right now, where they kind of split kind of down the middle, trying to figure out which way they're going to go, or they just be like white folks. Maybe they'd be just like white folks and always be split down the middle. And it's just a mistake for Democrats to believe that they can get Hispanics and other minorities to be on board, hook, line, and sinker every election the way they got Black folks. So, and I do think, much as crazy as Brandon is, man, you got a point about how the approach they have against with Black folks, or how they just talk crazy to us, and they think they could copy and paste that to other groups, as if other groups don't throw the middle finger and keep it moving and vote red. Because I mean, I ain't Hispanic, but I just don't see other groups beating up on each other the way we do, the way Black folks do, if we don't want to vote blue. You know what I mean? Like, granted, white folks, the white folks got they civil war between red and blue, but as far as like other minorities go, I mean, I don't see it. And I ain't pretending to be in their inner circles and then like that, but you could look online in the public and see Black folks beating up on each other if anybody step out of line off the Democratic plantation. And I think that like, ultimately, man, I don't want to repeat myself, but I just think the Democrats, they really in the middle of trying to just figure out who and what Latinos are and how to get them on board. And I think they just keep failing every time. And I think at the same time, they're losing more and more Black folks. Now, not so much they're losing more Black folks to Republicans. I think they're losing more Black folks just not voting for them at all. You know what I mean? Not so much he running over to the red side. They just kind of taking a step back and just keeping it quote unquote. Somebody just be single. I ain't dating right now, I'm just single. I think a lot of Black folks, as far as they vote go, they're just falling back, especially for the national election. So that was all, man. Y'all got it.
Hey, Donnie, let me get 30 seconds. Let me get 30 seconds, Donnie. All I need is 30 seconds.
You got 30
now,
again.
30 seconds. Now, the problem is with slow ass Darnell saying, with his rambling ass is saying, is that I drive all over the country. You know what I'm saying? And I see the roads. I see how the roads is changing. I see how the roads are being resurfaced. That goes on with any president. So to make it seem like Democrats are doing more with the roads got a budget that happened with any president. So that just shows how ignorant you are there. Now, let's talk about when Republican office and Democrats are offered. Now that Trump is back in office, I'm paying $1 more per gallon. As a truck driver, I run at least 50 gallons.
That's 30 seconds. That's 30. That was
yes,
30.
sir. That's 30 seconds. I counted with him. I counted with him. That was 30 seconds.
Okay, $50 a day I add. $50 more dollars a day I'm adding a day. That's it.
Go ahead, Kidola.
Oh, thank you, Dynast. I've been watching the program for long now, and as I say, why we Black people not lose an election when they start eating different type of food, pancake, and they don't stick with their soul food. You see, the Mexican who done with that. I don't understand, man. I'm just saying the truth, because the Mexican, they hold down with that tortillas, man, that beans and everything tight. You see, that lady was still talking about picking cotton and everything. After that, she going to eat some certain type of food. If the Black folk don't take the time, they will see themselves to a different place.
That soul food will kill you. That soul food will kill you, bro.
No, man, you don't kill you in time. It will make you still live long. Check out what the Latinos are doing. They hold that tortilla very tight. They're giving it out. Just stick to your soul food. Start winning the election like that. Because the other one, they don't give a damn about you, and they will let you dry. And they ain't playing, man. I told you all that. Once in a while, man, blend and be who you are. Thank you, Dennis. I'm living, man. Thank you, Dennis.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why more black people. There's a reason why more black people. There's a reason why more black people die of high blood pressure and diabetes than everybody else. And more than likely it's soul foods.
So let's make it healthy versus throwing it out the window. That's black people problem. We love throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Mexican food unhealthy.
How do you make soul food healthy?
Easy.
Just out of curiosity.
Change the ingredients.
Then it's not soul food anymore.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. They doing it all. They got vegan soul food.
What?
They got vegan soul food. You don't always got to put a ham hock in your pot of beans.
Man, hey, Brandon,
you gotta have a ham hock in them beans,
Brandon. The vegans just can't read. They can't do it, bro. That shit. No, they can't.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
They can't. They can't replicate it, Brandon. They can't do it.
You can put a regular turkey neck in a pot of greens as opposed to a smoked turkey neck, and that reduce the salt. And also, Mexicans work hard every day. Black folks eat and go sit up and let the food just sit in their gut. That's a big reason. You could really eat anything and live a long time as long as your activity level. Diets eat like crazy, bro. It's still in good shape. Why? He gets off his ass and works out. Black people have a problem with working out. That's our biggest issue. We don't get up and go work out. If you go to the gym, what you see in the gym, well, you in Atlanta, but Diners, if you go to the gym in California, it's more black folks in California than Georgia. If you go to the gym in California, you barely see any black people. 3 Mexicans on every treadmill, whites on the treadmill. We just don't have a workout oriented culture. That's the biggest issue.
Would you be offended if I called you Uncle Ruckus?
Why would I? That's what black people say to about anybody who speak the truth.
But Brandon, there's more black people in Georgia than in California.
No, it's not.
Yes, there is.
No, it isn't. Look it up.
I think it depends on the municipality.
No, there's more black people in California than Georgia, man. Y'all just don't like facts. Huh?
There's not. No, it's not, Brandon. You want to bet?
How many black people in Georgia, man?
Hold on.
I mean, I would agree with him that there's more black people in California, probably because California has a higher population than Georgia.
All them black folks got ran out.
Okay, they gone now.
Hello.
Yeah, someone was saying about the fiscal policy between the two parties. I think he was right. Republicans tend to spend a lot of money by tax cuts, and basically than the Democrats. And when they come in, they promise a lot of tax cuts for the rich, to stimulate the economy. But I don't know how that plays out by the end of their tenure, because sometimes when they stimulate the economy, based on tax cuts, you don't necessarily benefit from that because it takes a while for it to trickle down. And obviously then you have like two-party system, right? You have the Democrat that will come in, maybe they will benefit more from that tax cut, where most of that trickle down, fiscal policy basically, got passed down to the next, government. For example, if the Republicans, per se, cut the taxes for the rich and that money, by the time it gets to the system, then you have the Democrat being elected, so they'll benefit more from it. So I think it's all to do with the multinational corporations who got hold of these two parties. I think that's what it comes down to, and so that's the reason why I said earlier you should be on both sides. You should play both sides. There's no point being on Democrat forever because you can tell. The Democratic Party, they're quite deceiving. Some of these left parties, they're just as bad as the right. But because they know us too well, they know how to play us. They can do things to us, and we're more likely to agree to it than, for example, if it's a right wing, or conservative party that is in power. For example, now we have a center left party in the government that is introducing some policies. If it was the last government introducing that was a conservative, everyone would be out there, marching and throwing tantrums. So, we should be on both sides. Yeah.
Hey guys, we got to close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Diners was right
about Georgia.
Yeah, of course I'm right.